I believe we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Tangent Tavern. Hopefully everyone who's joining us from the very start has had a very nice Monday morning. Cal, let's start traditionally. How are you?
Yes, I'm really good, man. I've had a productive week. Got lots of things that I needed to do done.
Okay.
Spent a lot of time on working on Nightmare World.
Okay,
Good to get back into that after a month off.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing how that's going because you've December's been a break for everyone. December's been like a chill month for everyone, and now everything's kind of ramping back up and projects are starting again and efficiency's kicking back up. So I mean, we can kick it off with Nightmare World. I want to go over Cryptoland later because I need you to explain to me what the hell that is.
I don't even think I can. I don't think I can, but I will try my hardest.
Got to mention the fact that I'm looking into using Visa, the guy that does the clip channel, as an editor for some of the videos on the main channel. So you might be about to see a massive increase in quality on some of the middle of the week videos because his editing is light years.
It's really good.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. I watched his highlight video of your year in review, and honestly, it's good. He's really good at what he does.
The small things he uses, the cuts, the text, the quick zoom ins, the bring up pictures. He sent me like a draft of the video because I wrote a video. It's like a 20-minute video explaining what the hell NFTs are. And my plan was just to set it to background footage of Ape Escape from the PlayStation 1. Because I thought, people that know what they are would people that know what they are would get that and find that funny. But funny. Instead, I sent the whole thing across to Visa, and I sent him some Ape Escape footage, and I said, let's have text popping up on the screen, let's have images flowing in left and right, let's do some stuff, show me what you would do. And he sent me back like a 5-minute clip, and the 5-minute clip that he did has more editing than I would put in like a half-hour video. And he's so engaging. There's always something to watch. Yeah. So if this goes well, I'll be able to focus on making the worst MMO ever on Saturday and the Was It Good for the second channel. I've been replaying Tomb Raider, by the way, the original Tomb Raider 1 on the PlayStation 1, so we'll get onto that later. But Visa's editing is hopefully going to really speed up the efficiency of the channel.
That's actually... I'm glad you've said that because I'm looking forward to the point where I can have more video output based on having somebody to edit for me. Yeah. Because... and this is something that a lot of people don't realize, when you start YouTube, editing's fun. So much fun. Like just molding what you've created to the vision you had when you were creating it. Later down the line, when video output ramps up, it's not so fun. Yeah. It becomes the brick wall.
It's honestly like when you start any new job, the novelty is fun for like 5 minutes. Like you can start like a retail job and operating the till is fun because you've never done it before. And you're like, oh, this is awesome. I can press all the buttons. And after like a month, you just hate everything about it.
Yeah.
Because it's not fun in any way, shape or form. That's what editing 100%. Is like. And if I can outsource the editing to Visa and just pay him to edit the videos and then I can write something else, that would be so much more efficient. That is the plan. I'm really hoping going to be able to kick into all this. But ladies and gents, if you've just joined us at the start, hopefully you're having a lovely day. We've not really got too much into anything yet. Cal, do you want to tell people about the absolutely amazing looking helmet? If you're listening to this in a podcast format, Callum has a 3D printed helmet on his massive 3D printer from which Halo game is that? Is that Halo 4?
This one's based off of the Reach EVA helmet. The one that a lot of people remember, the one that Emil wears with the skull scratched into the visor.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a version of that. It's a prototype. I'm making it for conventions, for cosplay. However, this is definitely a prototype with a visor printed, as part of it. It's not a functional visor.
Yeah.
But the paint job is pretty much what I wanted to test. But I am actually going to be giving this specific one away to a lucky Twitch sub at the end of the month.
Yeah.
There'll be more about that on tomorrow's stream, probably, once I've set up exactly how this is going to work. But it's a proper paint job, like multi-layer, weathering. We got the damage. That's not going to show up on there.
It looks really nice though. You've got the highlighting, you've got some dry brushing effects going on there, you've got some edge highlighting going around, you've got the lighter colours and the darker. It looks really good. The visor looks lovely. You could probably get one custom printed, but it might cost you quite a lot of money to get the exact shape that you would need.
Don't need to worry about that. I have a vacuum forming machine.
No.
Where is it?
Of course you have.
We've got tons of PETG sheets
Oh
to
my
form
god!
from.
So you're just going to be able to mold the shape of the actual visor out of something, stick it in the vacuum former, and melt a piece of plastic over it to the exact shape.
So, a lot of people said,
No.
how are you going to get the exact shape?
Okay.
That's how. The prototype is the mold for the visor.
Just mold it over that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that
So
could
it
work.
had to exist first, yeah.
That would suggest that the actual helmet then is going to be very slightly bigger, because
Yeah.
if you're molding the visor over the outside of it, you're obviously slowly but surely increasing it.
Exactly. So the helmet is going to be bigger,
Yeah.
like about 10% bigger.
Okay.
But I'm doing like a loose molding over this, and once it's done, you can heat it up and form it to the actual
All right.
new helmet. So
That's gonna be
I think that'll
amazing.
work out really nice.
That's going to look absolutely amazing. That's gonna even if you had that helmet, if you went in like
Yeah.
a Spartan costume with your helmet off,
Oh,
and you
yeah.
had it like by your side or something, kind of holding it like that, that would still look super cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's perfect for a shelf piece, like
Yeah.
I've got in the back. Brigsby says Callum is now officially on my zombie apocalypse survival team.
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
These are the skills you need.
I see the sword you were talking about last time, the one in the background
Yeah.
right now. That looks awesome.
It's so nice, isn't it? It's one of my favourite presents. It really is.
Someone in the chat just said I finally caught the guy live from the clip channel. Look,
Oh.
that clip channel is gonna get bigger than the main channel. I know it is.
It's about to overtake me, which is depressing.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen at some point. It's just we say enough bollocks. We really do just
Yeah.
chat enough shit on stream that you can make an entire channel out of the clips of it. And I sometimes watch myself back thinking, what are you on?
Just waffling away about nonsense.
What do you want about? What are you saying? But talking about cosplay, so we may as well segue into this right now.
Yeah.
Through a strange series of events, I got chatting to a streamer called Rage Darling. I think she's in the chat right now, hanging out with us. She posted on Twitter wanting to talk about how much to charge a company for doing some kind of industrial content creation work for them. And we had a chat about that. And then I kind of casually mentioned to her, oh, are you going to Insomnia? Because this thing looks really cool. It's a huge big gaming fest in the UK. Turns out that Rage Darling had not only been to Insomnia, she'd hosted a couple of the things before. She was
Really?
She was known. She was friends with the people that organised it. So she put a good word in for me with the people that organised it, because I'm trying to get down there now. So there's a cosplay competition going on. Content creation applications are now open. So every year, Insomnia in the UK is hosted by some big YouTubers. You've got Syndicate. I think he's on like 9 million subs or something, and he's down there quite a lot.
He's huge.
Yeah, there's a guy called Dan Bull. I think he's on like 3 million, and he's down there.
He was the song guy, wasn't he? That did the
yeah.
I can't remember any specific ones, but I used to watch him a lot.
No,
as a
he
child.
does all that stuff. He is still going. Hopefully, I'll be able to get down and do a couple of things. And I sent you the application as soon as they are.
Mine's been sent off as well.
Do you think you'd go in cosplay, or do you think you'd go in the sexy red jacket that you've got with your avatar on it?
If the whole costume is done by then, I will go full Spartan.
Can we get Josh to do a rap battle with Dan Bull? I wouldn't want to embarrass him. I wouldn't want to show him up, because I mean that's his whole channel. It's his whole thing. He goes up against me. He gets destroyed.
What's he got left?
I know. I wouldn't feel right taking away a man's career. It wouldn't sit well with me.
I think you could do it. I think you'd absolutely decimate him in a rap battle.
I think that if I was able to talk to Dan before we went on stage and offer him a lot of money to lose, he might lose. If I can't offer that, I think he might beat me. Okay?
There's a chance.
I'm not going to lie, there is a chance that the professional rapper might beat the British guy who wears vests, drinks tea, and complains about shit MMOs.
Yeah. We'd have to see with that one.
I mean, what rhymes with what? There's basically no rhyming words in MMOs. RuneScape rhymes with cape, but it's the same CAP. You can't put those letters together. I mean, Warcraft rhymes with daft, and I think the moment you put the word daft into a rap, your career's finished.
Yeah. It's better than mumble rap, though, which I'm okay with.
I could do that.
You could.
I mean,
just
to be
chatting
fair,
nonsense.
anyone could do that.
If they can't hear the words coming out your mouth, they can't complain that they don't rhyme.
All I would need to do is just keep quoting RuneScape lines, and no one would know that I was doing it. So yes, if we can get down to Insomnia, if any of you guys are in the UK, come and join us, come and hang out. Even if I don't get a content creator pass, I'll still be there. You know, I'll just walk on stage. What are they going to do? I'll just walk on, grab the mic, start presenting. You do it with confidence. No one's going to stop you.
Yeah, it is the whole confidence thing, isn't it?
It is.
What is it? If you've got the audacity to do it, no one will question it.
Exactly. You wear a yellow high-vis jacket, you carry a clipboard, you can go wherever you want.
Yeah.
I mean, I've told you. Yeah, I've told you before that when I used to work in a warehouse, I mastered the art of carrying a broom and looking a bit annoyed.
Yeah.
If you work anywhere industrial, guys, 2 skills. 1, carry a broom. You can't find one, go and get one. And if anyone stops you, tell them you're going to get a broom. And carry a clipboard and look a bit annoyed. Everyone lets you go because they assume you're going to clean something big.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to do.
Or carry a clipboard.
Yes.
And the higher management that don't know who you are, because they don't know who anyone is in the company, just walk around with a clipboard.
Yeah.
No one's going to question what you're doing.
It is. It's honestly...
Because it looks like you're doing something. They just don't know what.
It's just about confidence. It always... This is... So if any of the Insomnia guys are watching right now, I mean, this is legally a joke, but if you don't give me a content creator pass, if you look at me and think, you know what, he's a bit arrogant, he's a bit cocky, he's a bit of a liability, we don't want to work with him, that doesn't mean I'm not going to be there in the capacity of a content creator. He's a bit daft. God, use the word daft. So, Cal, let's jump straight into a really big topic that I need you to explain to me. Yeah. Because there's no real way to frame this. What's Cryptoland?
It's an abomination on the soul of everybody that exists.
I've watched the video.
Did you die a little bit inside?
I thought it was satire.
So did I.
It's
this
parody.
Is what got me.
It's got to be parody.
I thought that for the first half of the video. And then for the remaining half, I was like, oh no, they're very serious about
because the
doing
voice
this.
So for anyone who hasn't seen it, I don't think we can show it on stream, can we? Because they'd probably copyright claim
the amount of copy... They've taken the video down.
What? It was a piece of art. It needs to be saved.
Well, luckily, mine and Kira's channel have got the full video in there. But they took it down, and the reason for this is unknown. But people have speculated that it's because they have used every copyright that they shouldn't. They used about 6 different songs. I'm pretty sure there was a Beach Boys song in there somewhere that they didn't have the rights to. All stolen assets. None of them are theirs.
And we'll mention the tweet about the age of consent in a minute, because that was troubling.
Yes,
but
very.
For anyone who's not sure, Cryptoland it's an idea, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
It's an idea, and what is the idea? What are these guys trying to do?
So the idea is that they're making some sort of Disneyland for crypto bros, and that is the entirety of the idea. It's that simple. It's a resort for crypto bros to go and just bro out together.
But when we say resort, we're not talking like you're going to head down to the Florida Keys and buy an acre of land and start building something. They have a very specific idea of where this resort's going to be, don't they?
Yeah, so they found an island off the coast of Fiji that was for sale for $12 million. They then lied and told everybody that they've bought the rights to this island. What they have is a purchase agreement for if they can raise 12 million, they can, buy this island. It's theirs. It's on reserve almost.
Right, so they've bought the NFT of the island, but they've not bought the island itself. So they walked up to a guy that owned a 12 million... Is it pounds or dollars? I think it's dollars, isn't it?
Dollars.
$12 million, and they said, hey, we want to buy your island. And he didn't say, okay, you own the island. He said, if you can bring me $12 million, I will sell you the island, which means they are currently in the same island ownership position that you or I are as well. If we can bring them $12 million, if anyone has $12 million free and wants to donate it in the chat right now, PayPal will probably take a cut of that, because that's how donations work, but you can do that, and we will consider buying the island, just so you know.
Yeah, which is the next troubling part. Me and other people looked into this. It's not actually on reserve. You can go and straight up buy that island right now.
I've only got about 10 million. I'm 2 million short for it, unfortunately, Cal.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a shame.
Here's what we can do. If we can raise 12 million, I know somebody who would buy it off us because they're really in need of it.
That's a good point. If we could raise $12 million and then sell it for 12,000,001 just to prove a point, that would I'd be fun with that. Cheese, thank you for the donations. We're getting there. The tier 1 subs are coming in. Right, so XQC can spot you the extra 2 million. They don't accept checks. Such a pity. They will do. So, I mean, I'm going to be real. Let's just go back to the start, because this whole thing is a confusing mess. They want to buy an island. And they want to advertise it towards crypto bros, which is a very specific kind of subculture of person. And in order to advertise it, they created an animated trailer, which is about, 3 minutes long?
No, 15 minutes long.
It's longer.
Mate, it's crazy the amount of time. Like, let's put aside the effort, because it was all stolen assets. They still had to animate those things in the trailer. So the amount of time they've put into this...
Right.
really just echoes the fact that this isn't satire and that this isn't a joke.
It looks like an episode, this is a very specific reference, but it looks like an episode of Reboot. I don't know if anyone ever saw the original CGI 3D kind of TV show with like blue digital dudes on it, and it was on like, I think it was BBC or CITV in the morning.
Yes, I know what you're on about, but I haven't watched it.
It looks like an episode of Reboot. That's what it does. It's really, like, if you imagine the very first PlayStation 2 games when they tried really hard to use 3D animated graphics in the cutscenes, but it just didn't work. Yeah. It looks like that. It looks like a bad The Bouncer cutscene from the original PS2 game. So we're talking low quality CGI here. But everything was shiny. Everything, the eyes are dead. I really want to show it on stream, but I'm not going to, because we'll get onto their legal team later. But it's really bad. It's full of jokes that aren't jokes. They're just references, aren't they?
This is where the cringe comes in. And someone had said to me, so like, I avoided all news on this because a lot of people in my Discord said to me, don't watch the trailer, watch it live, watch it for your first video.
Yes.
Don't do any research. And I stayed away from everything. I knew that it was this kind of island resort thing for crypto bros.
Yes.
I thought it was digital going into this. I didn't realise they were planning on buying an actual physical island.
Oh, you thought they were doing the metaverse kind of thing, where it'd be like
exactly.
an Earth 2 thing. Okay.
And then when I find out they're doing both, I'm like, this is bad as it is. But they've got all these jokes where the guy called Christopher keeps being referred to as Cryptopher.
And isn't the dude Coiny? Isn't he called...
No, Connie.
Connie. He's called Connie. Conny. Like, I'm struggling to quite understand how we've gone... Have you seen the film The Room?
Yes.
You know when you start to make something and it gets bad and then it gets good and then it gets into some kind of transcendent state of artwork and you're not sure what it's trying to say?
Yes.
That's what this video was.
Yeah. It was a roller coaster of pure emotions, and I don't know what I felt during that, but I was dead inside by the end of it.
So from what I've seen, the dude, Christopher, lands on... He's in a helicopter, and he lands on this island, and he gets met by...
While the Jurassic World music's playing, by the way, which they also didn't have rights to.
Brilliant, so they used the Jurassic World music.
Yeah.
And then he gets met by Connie, who brings him in, and he's like, what should we do first? Oh, let's do all this cool stuff. And even the banner, as they walk in, and because they're on the docks, they've landed by the ocean, and they've got the beach huts, and they're walking down the wooden dock, and even the banner says, like Hoddle Land or something.
Hodlers of Last Resort, yeah.
Hodlers of Last Resort. You know what it reminded me of? Have you seen the live-action Scooby-Doo film?
Oh, God, yeah.
You know the evil island in the live-action Scooby-Doo? I forget what they call it, like Skull Island or something like that. When the thing starts and you see it in front of you, and there's like a roller coaster in the background and a huge mountain with a skull carved into it. It is absolutely that. It is the evil island from the live-action Scooby-Doo film, but with Crypto
100%.
Bros.
They've just copied reference. The entire thing is a mashup of references. Imagine that you've created a mood board of the sort of thing you're trying to make, and then you realise, I can't be asked to turn this into anything. Here's the mood board. Just make this. Yeah. Because that's what it is. You need to be like one step further with satire. You need to be one step beyond. It needs to be it needs to not just point at something and say, hey, this is a thing associated with what we're trying to do. It needs to actually make a reference that the thing you're associating it with is relevant. It's kind of attached in some way, but they haven't necessarily attached anything. It's just like 30 or 40 unrelated crypto references all strung together. To be honest, though, if they'd have done a realistic trailer of references of what it would be, it would basically just be, this place is going to smell like a Magic the Gathering tournament.
Yeah, and I've been to a Magic the Gathering tournament, and I know how bad they smell.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
You do not want
that. So, you remember when you get those emails from Nigerian princes selling you a Rolex watch or something?
Yeah.
There's actually a thing with spam emails, because people say to me, oh my god, spam emails, they've got spelling mistakes, they've got errors, they're so dumb, they're so stupid. Why would anyone fall for this? Those mistakes in spam emails are actually there on purpose. They're a filtering method, because spammers don't want to deal with smart people. So one of the greatest things that a scammer can do is immediately filter out anyone with any sense of intelligence. So they make the emails as dumb and as obvious as they can be, so they know when someone responds, they've pretty much gotten, a sucker straight away. If you made it really convincing, once the scam starts to be there, you realise you wasted a load of time because the person you're talking to is quite clever.
Yeah.
Do you think this video was so cringeworthy, so self-referential, so bad, because it wants to attract people who actually don't quite understand how this all works?
Absolutely. I'm pretty certain that's exactly what's happening, because there's so many references in there to the project itself basically being a rug pull and a scam that if anyone goes through to question them about it, they're going to be the idiots.
Yeah.
Because we don't need to question them about it. It's quite clear. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, I don't think this is a scam. I think they're really intending to do this. The signs are there that this is going to be a massive rug pull. And I'll tell you why. There's things they haven't considered, like that island is a derelict, abandoned island because it gets hit by tsunamis twice a year. You physically can't build on it. It's a waste of an island.
Yeah.
But they're buying it to put all the crypto bros there.
It's also quite difficult to maintain land, because once you own it, you're responsible for it. So if you buy an island... Also, the kind of people who actually have $12 million lying around in order to buy an island are not the kind of people who advertise the fact they're buying an island. They do it in secret because they want to buy an island so you don't know about it. So they're far away from you. And then they've got to build the infrastructure. You need fresh water. You need electricity. You need some kind of dock. You need a helipad if you're going to get there by helicopter, depending on how far away you are from stuff. You need the logistical network. Buying the island is if anything, the cheap bit. You then need to put the logistics in. Anyone that's played SimCity understands that it's not just the land that you own, you need to put logistics into it as well. So these guys are talking about buying a £12 million island, all the crypto bros can go and hang out on.
Yeah.
And it gets weirder, doesn't it? Because how are they going to afford this? Where's that 12 million coming from?
So, as with everything, they've broken it up into parcels, 60 parcels of $1 million each that you buy with Ethereum, and their funding is going to come from 60 million of NFTs. So, here's where legal issues come in. They're selling land that they don't own. So they've then had to say in their white paper that you buying this land doesn't entitle you to buy this land. It's basically saying you own this land, but you physically don't. And it's caused this absolute rabbit hole because they put out their white paper on their website at the exact time that this video went out.
Okay.
And I feel that the white paper was there for people to not read so that they could rug pull based on what the white paper says, saying, but you agreed to it.
So this is like selling a star, except instead of selling a star that no one owns millions of miles away, that no one can contest, you're selling land that actually does exist that someone already owns.
Yeah, they are flat out selling land that they don't own. Like, imagine this is Earth 2 transitioned into Earth 1.
This is just the big Brooklyn Bridge scam, isn't it? That we
it's mind-blowing. And here's the thing. When I say about legal issues, they know that this is a scam because they've said if you're a green card holder or a US citizen, you cannot buy into this. And
they don't want to deal with America.
Yeah, but wait for this. So I was in their Discord and I'd been in there a week before I made my video because I wanted to be able to sit myself in there and not be found out when I make my video. And after the video went out, I'd seen our boy, Aria, had been posting in there saying, hey, I'm unable to buy anything off the site. And I responded in the general chat saying, "Oh, US citizens aren't eligible to buy." So I was genuinely trying to be just helpful.
Yeah.
And I wasn't trolling or anything. And people in my Discord were there watching. And the owner of this comes back to me and he says, "No, that's false information." And I'm like, your white paper that I have up in front of me that is on your site as the current white paper says that they can't. I got instantly banned from the Discord.
Right.
And even Aria messaged me and he was like, "Dude, did you just get banned?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "I don't know what's going on here."
It's the further we go into this, the more it becomes a cult. In order to create a cult, and this is why I think, I'm not saying that cryptocurrency doesn't exist, I'm saying that it has been run like a cult. In order to have a cult, you need to have in-groups and out-groups, and you need to push the out-group away further and further and further. You need to have unique language. You need to have positions of power and respect and charisma. I really do feel that a lot of this is... There was a thing done on Reddit recently where you can see the subreddits that people subscribe to if they subscribe to multiple subreddits. It's like they're connected between them. The majority of people that subscribe to crypto-based subreddits or to NFT-based subreddits are also heavily subscribed to money-saving subreddits. Or, lower income subreddits. And there's nothing wrong with that, but what it is showing is that there's a definite correlation between the kind of people that don't have a lot of money and that think crypto is their way out. Yeah. And I really do think that a lot of the people that have the charisma and the ability are manipulating people who are down on their luck or desperate in many cases. I think this is an attack on desperate people and saying, "Hey, crypto's your way out. It's brand new. No one understands you. Come and join us. We love you."
Yes. And this is further backed up by the next level of insanity on this Cryptoland project. Have you been in their Discord?
Not yet. I'm looking forward to that still.
Josh, you are going to be blown away. I couldn't believe this. Again, this feels like satire. So, to get an NFT, because they've got an NFT collection of Connie,
Of course they have.
Thing, and it's basically Bored Ape Yacht Club, but uglier, which I didn't think was possible.
Oh, that's impressive right there.
That's some hardcore work there. Now, to be able to buy them, you need to get whitelisted. This is common in NFT projects. The first supporters before the launch get first buy-ins.
Okay.
Now, what they're doing is they're actually giving away their NFTs to people who are whitelisted. But here's the catch.
Okay.
To get whitelisted, you need to scrub your entire internet identity and replace it with Cryptoland. So there's a point-based system. You need to accumulate 20,000 coin Cryptoland points to get an NFT. So you get 200 by liking and giving a positive response on a tweet of theirs. You can do that daily. You get 500 for changing all your profile pictures on the internet, on all socials, and this is the bit that made me laugh because they had to change this. They said to a screenshot of one of our NFTs, basically saying, just steal someone else's NFT and use it to promote our thing.
They've gamified progression through a cult.
Yeah, and the cult behind this is so vocal because of the incentives. It's terrifying. You've got people who, on Discords that aren't even their own, have changed their name to have Cryptolander at the end, because for every Discord they're in that they change their name to Cryptolander, they get 20 points. This is insane. And there's a criteria of 20 things you can do for this, and there's people that are doing all of them.
This is a social credit scheme. This is... Yeah. Black Mirror wasn't meant to be a guidebook. Black Mirror was meant to be a heavy-handed satire of what the world is going to go to. Someone literally sat back and watched all of Black Mirror and went, "That's it. That's what we need to do. That's it." There was an episode of Community with this, with the beans.
Yes.
Like...
This is a massive issue.
This is a cult with loot boxes.
Yeah, but here's the issue. So, you know how a lot of game companies like Konami and Ubisoft are moving to NFTs because there's so many people that are interested in it.
There's a Castlevania NFT. I've actually used the example of the Castlevania NFT in the NFT video that Visa's editing right now.
So this is going to become very apparent very soon, and I think it already is. game companies are like, we're hearing about this everywhere. Everyone's interested. Everyone cares. No, it is such a small minority, and it's a massive circle jerk in that small minority.
I looked into the numbers.
They're loud.
300 million people are involved with cryptocurrency worldwide. It's a respectable number.
Yeah.
360,000 wallets own an NFT. That's 0.1%
of that percentage
of the people that do crypto. So crypto is still very, very small globally, seeing as there's about 8.5 billion people, and 300 million use crypto, and then 360,000. More people subscribe to our YouTube channels combined than own NFTs.
Yeah.
That's tiny.
Yeah.
That's really small. And yet, they are the loudest subculture.
That's the issue here, because they're not... It's weird. It's free promotion that they're doing for a company on the promise that they will make them rich off of it. Yeah. So let's just take Cryptoland as its own entity. The amount of people that are shouting from the rooftops about Cryptoland is minuscule.
Yes,
we're talking less than 300. But they are everywhere. They're in everybody's DMs, everybody's Twitter replies.
Yep.
They are shilling to their family. They are making their own websites to support a website that doesn't really exist. The amount of hardcore marketing they're doing for free for something that doesn't exist that should terrify everybody.
When you sell
because
someone
it
a
makes
dream,
it look legitimate, but it's not.
You're selling someone a dream. You're selling someone the idea that they can change their life by being involved in the ground floor of something. This is exactly the same song and dance we've seen for hundreds of years before.
And there's another level of scumminess that got found out by someone called Sanji in my Discord the other night. This was a theory I'd had about Cryptoland that I couldn't prove, but they dug through the blockchain history. And there's a guy called Kyle Chase who has been shilling this before it was even publicly announced.
Okay.
He's an influencer on YouTube, about 30k subs. So he's got a decent influence.
Yeah, it's not a small channel. That's a decent channel.
No, it's not. This guy has been shilling it. And then we've gone back to his videos and he says, I've bought real land on an island in Fiji. And now, after the release of Cryptoland, it says in his title, in brackets, Cryptoland. Okay. So he is advertising that he has purchased this thing. What he's not advertising is that he is the head of the board of advisors for Cryptoland. And the other layer of scumminess to this is the fact that if we dig through his wallet history, Cryptoland paid him months in advance so he could pay them for the land. It's a net neutral. No one has paid anyone for this land.
So it's just money laundering to move money around.
It's money laundering. So the one plot of land that has been bought wasn't bought. It was given away with a legitimate looking transaction on the Ethereum blockchain.
Okay. One thing that a lot of people need to understand about any kind of scam or con is the more complex something ends up being, the more chances that they are trying to trick you. If something is completely 100% legitimate, they actually want you to understand what you get.
Simple as possible.
It is. You make it as simple as you can. You reduce it to the simplest steps you can. Let's talk about going into a shop and buying something. You walk into a shop, you pick something up, you go over to the person that's running the shop. You give them currency to the value of the item you want. You now have ownership of the item. You walk out. Done. It's one step. It's very simple. The more complexity you add into it, the greater the chance that one of those steps is there to trick you. Why do you think any kind of financial law is so ridiculously complicated? Because the bank can get more of your money if you're in debt to them, and you can fall in debt to them by doing lots of complicated steps that you don't quite understand. Please, guys, if you don't fully, completely understand something, and I mean to the degree that you could explain it to like a 10-year-old, don't invest your own money that you can't afford to lose into it. Please.
Absolutely.
Please don't.
Yeah, very, very quickly, Cheese Clan, thank you for the 20 gifted subs, my dude. That is absolutely awesome. My lights are going to be having a seizure for the next half an hour at least.
Oh yeah, Callum,
really appreciate it.
Callum has a thing with his lights where if you follow him or subscribe to him, his lights in the background are automated because he's a tech genius and does all that kind of weird, cool, glowy things. So please don't invest in things that you don't fully understand, and don't buy into someone selling you it. I watched a video recently. A friend of mine started watching a lot of YouTube stuff, and they were watching a lot of the Sidemen videos. Now,
yes,
I'm not their target demographic of Sidemen, but I can understand that they're talented entertainers. They can create entertainment. And one of the videos was titled, "We bought this 40 million mansion." It was, I bought a 40 million mansion. And this dude is bringing you in and showing you around his 40 million mansion. I don't necessarily think that he personally bought a 40 million mansion. No. Because that mansion had absolutely no furnishings in it whatsoever, and was remarkably clean, very simple, and I'm pretty sure I've seen it in other I bought a mansion videos.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's very true. In fact, I'm making a video soon about influencer family. You may have heard of them, the Ace family.
I've heard of them, but I try and avoid a lot of influencers on YouTube and stuff.
Yes. Now, I've been looking into this because they have scammed their followers and fan base on like a bi-monthly routine at this point. They've done everything from hosting an illegal boxing match in a house that they bought, but it turned out they hadn't bought. Like, the lawsuits for this run deep. Mm-hmm. They then used people's funding for this house to build it.
Yeah.
And then mysteriously they don't have it anymore because it's gone into foreclosure because they decided to run a jet ski through a pool it gets wild. But all these loose ends tie together to show what they didn't actually buy.
Yeah.
And what they scammed their fans out of. Like, this house was meant to be given away originally to a lucky subscriber. They hosted basketball tournaments where there was a 100k prize pool, and mysteriously his basketball friend from college showed up out of nowhere, not on the guest list, and won the 100k, but never got the 100k. And it was done in plain sight.
Yeah. A lot of it is a tax write-off, because that's how business stuff works. If you own a business and you have money in your business account, you will get taxed on that. So your business earns 100k, you're going to get taxed 100k, you're then going to have to pay business tax if you want to move it around. But if you spend that 100k on something business-related, you can then say to the taxman, hey, actually that money was used as an outgoing, it was used as an expense. And the taxman goes, you know what, yeah, that's fine, I'll waive some of that off. It's not as simple as that, tax law is remarkably complicated. But if you have, I mean, Gus Johnson did a parody video of this, called this video as a tax write-off, where he buys a keytar and he plays the keytar on the video just so he can claim it back as business expenses. If these massive successful YouTube channels have millions of pounds and they want to rent a mansion for a day, or they want to buy something and say it's a business expense, they can do that. They then have collateral they can use to get loans and sell on. It's a lot of moving liquid cash into actual assets, or it's moving non-liquid cash into assets. It's incredibly complicated with stuff like that. But I don't believe anyone actually buys a 40 million mansion. Have you seen those stupid videos on TikTok where they'll be making food, but they'll use far too much sauce? And I mean like buckets.
Yeah, like
sauce.
Copious amounts.
Yeah, there'll be like a couple of chicken wings in a bowl, and someone will put a little bit of hot sauce on them, and then they'll just dump an entire bucket of hot sauce over it. Those are filmed in rented houses.
Yeah.
Because there are houses built to be easy clean, which is why everything in them is white. Because you just wipe it down and bleach it, and it looks like new. They're designed to do that.
But without going into it too much, it's these houses were originally built for 18 plus videos to be shot in.
Yeah. Yeah, they were
now, and now that 18 plus stuff's gone more from home and individual people doing it, a lot of these houses have been just sat there for years and they don't get the usage out of them. So they've opened it to influencers, TikTokers, anyone who wants to make an absolute mess in a house and not be held accountable can go and do it. And you do see the same houses in different influencers. Little Tay was another one who did it.
Yeah. There are videos existing of, because you can hire out a private jet for a photo shoot on the runway.
Yeah.
You don't even get the jet isn't flight worthy. It's just on the runway.
Yeah, there's no engines in them.
So what you do is
derelict.
you go down, you get the steps down, you take a selfie of you going onto a private jet, you walk onto the private jet, you take a couple of selfies of you on the private jet, and then you upload those over the next couple of weeks, and people think you've got a private jet, and then you just go and fly economy wherever you need to fly because it's a hell of a lot cheaper. This is the superficial lifestyle that influencers have to sell you, because influencers only have power if they have, clues in the name, influence. They need to make it so people want to be like them.
Yeah.
And what do people want? Wealth, power, people to be attracted to them. That's what people want. So influencers need to keep this up. It really is just a case of showing a very superficial lifestyle because no one else checks.
Yeah. And in fact, I'm going to, at some point, prove that this is the dumbest, prove the flaws with this. Because when I do get my Tesla, I'm making a single video on it. Mm-hmm. I'm writing it off as tax.
Do it.
Straight up. I mean, here's the thing. It's a big flaw. Why would you not? It's one of those problems where you can't blame people for doing it if it works and it doesn't harm anyone else.
Yeah. I just want to point out that box of Gloomhaven in the back right there is an incredibly important asset to this company and this stream. Yeah. And this stream would not be the same without it. Can someone in the chat just ask me what Gloomhaven as a game is like? Because then we can officially make it an actual business thing. There we go. Legit, I haven't even played Gloomhaven yet. It is huge. It is absolutely massive. Like
I really want to.
It's like D&D but in a box. But you've got a little book that has all the missions and stuff with you. It's got little models that you move around. It's a tabletop board game, but it's huge. Thank you, chat, for saying that you're incredibly interested in it. I appreciate that. That is now Gloomhaven. Interesting. Tell me more. Thanks, guys. But no, I legit haven't played it yet. I played Pandemic for the first time a couple of days ago. Pandemic's really good. Have you played Pandemic before?
You know what? I haven't played many board or tabletop games in the last 5 years, and I really want to get back into it.
Mate, when you come round, we're playing it. I went to Warhammer World recently, actually. If any of you guys are in the UK, if you're around Nottingham, if you've been to Warhammer World, massive, huge warehouse, and you're definitely coming with us next time we go, because it's really cool. Is that a SpaceX mug as well?
It is. It's a SpaceX mug that, with heat, terraforms Mars.
Oh, sweet. That's actually really cool.
That's my second favourite Christmas present.
Heat-changing mugs are actually amazing.
They're really cool. It's a shame you can't put them in a dishwasher.
Dishwasher takes little paint.
But this is only for stream and video.
It is. Dishwasher takes the paint off them, which is a shame.
Yeah.
So, what people in the chat said earlier that this new Cryptoland, which we'll come back to because there's just endless fun to be had, is very similar to Fyre Festival. Do you remember Fyre Festival, Cal?
In fact, in the title of my video, I called it the Fyre Festival of Crypto.
Oh, brilliant.
Because it absolutely is. I can't wait. I want this to go ahead. I absolutely do. Because as someone pointed out to me, it's going to be like Lord of the Flies.
Yes.
There's just going to be a bunch of people gathered around, GPUs, huddled up to keep warm while they're 3D printing spears to throw at attack helicopters as they come over. It's going to be the funniest shit we're going to see of the next century.
Oh, hey man, give me my spear back. I own the NFT to it. You can't use it. That kind of thing.
It's in a broken form now. It's no longer valid.
Let's just talk about what Fyre Festival was. Because, oh wow, Josh at Warhammer World, how broke are you now? I have more Space Marines, put it that way.
The grey box is getting bigger.
Yeah. Fyre Festival, for those of you who were unaware or who are blissfully, if anything, unaware, is what happens when you ask people with far too much money and far too much, delusions of self-importance and grandeur, if they want to go and experience their own Woodstock, which itself was a massive festival in the UK. But then you don't actually provide any of the amenities that these remarkably wealthy people require. So these rather rich people, and the reason I bring up money and wealth in this so much is, how expensive was a ticket to Fyre Festival?
I'll find it for you now.
Yeah, just do a quick Google, work out how expensive a ticket to Fyre Festival was, because it was not cheap.
$1,200 per ticket, and they sold 8,000 tickets.
So $1,200, that rushes down to about, what, £900?
Yeah, probably about the 1K mark.
Okay, 900 to £1,000. So imagine if you're in the chat right now. Imagine
$9 million.
They made $9 million.
$9.5 million off sales of tickets alone.
And didn't they hosted it on an island that they had, or a kind of bit of land that they bought, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
So imagine this. You, as a very confident person, walk up to all of the rich and famous people in the world, or the Instagram influencers and TikTokers, and the people who are rich and famous for being rich and famous and not necessarily talented, and you say, we're going to have the biggest party ever. Super exclusive, super expensive, amazing futuristic tents. Not just, your little kind of random crappy regatta tent. We're going to have domed tents with metal exteriors, and they'll be heated on the inside, like glamping, glamorous camping, as they say. And everyone's going to be there, and it's going to be the event of the century. Fyre Festival. F-Y-R-E. We don't spell fire normally. We spell it with a Y.
Using the Tinder Fire logo, by the way. They just straight up stole that.
Yeah, they didn't even ask. They just used that.
Yeah.
And they sold out because they convinced everyone that that's what was going to happen. It's basically just a massive amount of drugs and sex on a private island somewhere. For people with money.
The reality of it was a story in itself, and it's possibly the best before and after image. Like, it got to the point where they'd got food vans but no way of keeping the food cold. So there was mass food poisoning. They had to get FEMA in with private jets to set up tents for hospitals. It was just hysterically funny. It was just it had been hit by a tsunami weeks before the event. There was just dead whale carcasses and stuff at one end of the beach. It was, you couldn't write this. It was literally Lord of the Flies on a bigger budget.
Imagine trying to organise an incredibly exclusive party for remarkably wealthy and picky people. And I say picky people because if you're spending £1,000 on a ticket to go to a party for a few days, you kind of expect everything to be, pretty sorted for you. These are also the type of people who are going to be remarkably rude to anyone who is not necessarily perfect. And then you arrive, and the tents that you are given are surplus military emergency tents for nationwide disasters. And the food you are given is from a kebab truck. And the artists that you've been promised just don't turn up. And there's a picture somewhere of a cheese sandwich, isn't there? Most of the DJs pulled out.
Oh, man.
They couldn't even power a lot of the stages and the lights and the speakers because the generators that they brought with them weren't necessarily the best suited for the conditions. They just absolutely... It was a mess. It was a farce. It was a complete farce. And these people spent millions of dollars. Yeah. Rich
people died there. Yeah. It genuinely got to the point that they had to call in a crisis team.
Yeah.
To come and rescue people.
Yeah.
There were deaths from food poisoning, deaths from hypothermia. Like you say, the generators they brought were the same ones that we used to use at motocross events to power a small van. No joke. And they'd got 6 of them for the entire island.
Yeah. This is the perfect example of what happens when you overpromise and underdeliver, except this time it's dangerous.
Yeah.
You overpromise and underdeliver on a video game, everyone just gets a bit annoyed at you, we get cyberpunk, and then you try and improve it. You overpromise and underdeliver on an actual real live event, people die.
Yeah.
And it's dangerous and it's scary. So Fyre Festival was a perfect example of what happens when you promise the absolute earth and you can't even give a small patch of land.
Sandwich.
Yeah, you can't even give a cheese sandwich. And now we've got it happening again with Cryptoland.
On a much bigger scale as well. This is the issue. This island has no sort of sanitary things on there. There's no plumbing. There's no electricity. There's no anything. Because it's hit by tsunamis multiple times a year and wipes out anything that would be on the island. Right. It's a disaster waiting to happen.
There's an interesting... Sorry, carry on, Cal. You go first.
Yeah, it's all right. I was just going to finish it with saying... And the reason that Fyre Fest got to the point that it did is because 2 days into this week-long festival... All generators were down. No electricity, no plumbing, no nothing, no sanitary things. And they'd booked a fully booked airline jet to drop off day 1, pick up day 8. And they were the only ones they could get to do that journey because it's such a dangerous journey for the landing.
Right.
So they had 7 days, pretty much, where it was pure anarchy. There was just... deaths left, right, and centre.
It was just a mess, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was an absolute mess. So I believe it's the Dunning-Kruger effect, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, where if you know a little bit about something, you have a false narrative of how much knowledge you actually have. And this is why they say a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. They don't mean that knowing a little bit makes you useful. What it actually means is when you know a little bit, you think you are useful, but you actually don't realise how useless you still are. So when you try and do something, you run into problems that you could never even imagine because you can't think of them yet. In martial arts, we say if you want to know anything, ask a green belt. And that is because green is roughly when you're kind of in the middle of your training before you start to get to black. And a green belt will tell you absolutely goddamn everything. They will tell you the history of the martial art, the best moves, the best way to do it, the best way to tie your belt, the best way to do this. You ask an actual black belt what's the best way, and they will shrug at you and go, mate, I've only been here like 10 years. I'm still learning. Because the I think it's the Dunning-Kruger effect, again, correct me if I'm wrong, is once you've done something for a little bit, you think you know everything. And as you do it more, you realise the amount of stuff that you don't know is huge, and your knowledge goes down, your confidence drops way down, and then as you start to learn more, you then get that. So when we say to someone like, hey, let's go and buy an island for 12 million, the people who have no idea, who have a little bit of knowledge, will straight away go, that's a great idea, that's perfect, we can just move there, we can live there.
Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah. And then what you need to do is you need to find the people who think a step further. And the step further comes to questions like, which country's nationality is this under? Who has authority over this? What happens, as stupid as it sounds, what happens if another country's military invades?
Yeah, and that's not even the biggest problem. There are absolute comedy gold scenarios with this already. They're opening a casino. Fiji has banned casinos.
So it's not under Fiji's law?
No, it is under Fiji's law.
Oh, it is under Fiji's law. They're just going to try and do something completely illegal.
They're going to do multiple things that are against Fiji's law regardless, and they are now saying, no, we're a law unto ourselves because it's our island. And they're like, no,
look, if it's a
you
law
own
unto
the
themselves,
island in the area that is run by Fiji.
If it's their island, I guarantee that the SAS will take it on their day off. Like, you grab 3 commandos and you just say, oh, guys, have you got 4 hours free? There's an island over there we'd quite like for the English nation. Off you go. Yeah. Just send Chris Ryan by himself. You know, I'm pretty sure Bear Grylls could do it if he's got a free 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you only need to send a bit of an EMP, like an EMP over the island. The whole of the blockchain for that island goes down. Everybody's dying left, right, and centre.
Just tell the Royal Marines there's a pack of crayons in the middle. We'd have the island by the afternoon. Yeah. That's what it would be. Just straight over there, done. That would be it. They wouldn't even... They'd think it was training. Oh, that is ridiculous. So that's what happens when you don't think these things through. As stupid as it sounds, you know, oh, no one's military is going to involve. Yes, they will. Because if it's not ours, someone else will.
And people have got reasons to now after that tweet that we mentioned earlier that we wanted to bring up.
If anything turns them off this. So someone tweeted at the crypto people, the Cryptoland, what's the age of consent? Which, you know what, is a legitimate question. Yep. That itself is not the funny bit. That is actually a genuine question that you completely need to ask if you're kind of establishing an independent nation somewhere. What's the age of consent? It's a good enough question to ask.
Yeah.
In England, it's 16, provided that the other person is within 3 or 4 years of that age. Yeah. And then 18. In America, it's either 18 or 21.
Japan's like 14. Japan's, it varies 14. Everywhere.
It varies. It's the country's prerogative to set whatever they want to have set.
Yeah. So if you're moving somewhere, it's a good question to ask.
You need to know the laws of the place you're moving to. So, what did they say? What was the answer to what's the age of consent?
Their answer immediately, without hesitation, was mental maturity. Mental maturity should be more than enough. Winky face.
Mental maturity should be enough. From the people buying an island for their imaginary money.
I think I summed it up pretty much perfectly. They're basically building Epstein's Island on the blockchain.
They are.
Yeah,
they are, which means it's not going to be a little black book. It's going to be a little black ledger on the blockchain. I'm people will be in there straight away. So mental maturity. So what? Like, I mean, I'm not mature. I laughed at fart jokes. I mean, it's... What? I would get there, they're like, are you mentally mature? I'm like, no. Not at all. I've been playing Tomb Raider 1 all day. I still believe that the Naked Lara code might be out there somewhere.
Yeah, you're going to die a crypto virgin.
Yeah, I've not matured at all. It's not a thing. Not a thing whatsoever. So, it's, people in the chat, I believe the code's out there as well. It's real. It's not.
It's got to be. I'd have put it in there.
It makes her. Have you actually put the? So, the second channel, Josh Strife Plays, I review retro games, and I haven't been able to recently because of the amount of nothing that I've been doing, to be honest. And I've got back into Tomb Raider 1, and Tomb Raider, when it came out, everyone was like, oh, there's a Naked Lara code, Naked Lara code. Back when magazines were still printed, PlayStation like gaming magazines, and they loved to spread rumours, so people would buy the magazines to find out about the rumours, because the internet wasn't really a mass thing. It's weird to say that I'm older than the internet.
Yeah.
And when Tomb Raider 1 came out, there was a Naked Lara code, or people said there was a Naked Lara code. There wasn't. It's not there. But then, when Tomb Raider 2 came out, they said, hey, there's a Naked Lara code. Put it in. If you put the Naked Lara code into Tomb Raider 2, Lara explodes and dies. Like, all the bits of the bodies blow up, which is brilliant. It's
incredible.
Exactly the way you do it. You wouldn't be able to troll someone like that on the internet.
No.
Because of the internet now, because the information would spread too quickly. It's only
and accurate information usually filters its way up to the top. So you'll get the answer you're after before you find the funny ones.
Yeah, it's only funny when you don't know what's going to happen and you heard it from like a hushed rumour from someone whose uncle works at, PlayStation or that kind of thing. So it's a real shame. The thing is, with the rise of the internet, information is rife. And... we are using it to sell crypto and NFTs and to convince people to buy an island?
Yeah, and this goes hand in hand with what we were saying earlier. Now, correct information is just the loudest person is the most correct.
Yeah. Redbeard in the chat has just said, like Pokemon Red and Blue, you could get Mew by doing XYZ. Redbeard, if you go and watch my video on Josh Drive Plays, where I review Pokemon Red and Blue, you can get Mew, legitimately, in the game. I mean, it's not legit, because you have to do some arbitrary code execution by taking on certain trainers and flying and using an Abra to teleport, but you genuinely 100% can get Mew in Red and Blue, and I've watched it. I watched all the ways I was told they were lies as a kid. Red Steel, go and watch my video. I do it in the video, and I explain exactly why it's working. It works because if you take on a trainer who uses Slowpoke, Slowpoke's special stat is 14, and Mew's identifier is 14. So after that fight, you need to get into a fight that you've set up from earlier, and it uses the last known special stat as the spawn stat for a new Pokemon, and it spawns you Mew. But legit, I guarantee we did it.
And it's quite interesting because the reason that this works, and people are like, that shouldn't work, the reason it works is they had such a small memory limit that a lot of their variables are shared. So, like, you say the special attack stat variable for last encountered will then be overwritten by something else because they know that you'll never access both of them at the same time. So it's just saving stored space.
It's tiny.
But in certain situations, you can use them in the wrong order.
Wasn't it 128 kilobytes? I'm pretty sure Pokemon Red and Blue was 128 kilobytes. It's really small. Like, I used an image, just one image as an overlay in the video. That image was bigger as a file size than the entire game.
Yeah, I was just about to say exactly that. If you take a screenshot of at any point in the game, in the resolution that it is in the game, it is more than the entire saved stuff, which is it's insane. Like, it's to crazy, wrap your head around that, it's a miracle.
The fact they were able to do that. I mean, a lot of programming use kind of tricks and stuff like that. I mean, there's a great GIF out there. I'll see if I can find it. I think it's Horizon Zero Dawn, and it shows that as your character's field of vision turns around in the game, everything behind you just unloads.
Yeah.
And then it loads back in. So you've only actually got like a quarter of the world loaded in at any one time. It's just very quick to pop up with the RAM, because it's better to do that than to have occlusion. That was the one, the occlusion around you and stuff. That's super cool. That is really cool. I mean, I'm pretty sure Jagex Shogun has just joined us. I'm pretty sure RuneScape did a load of memory-saving things in the past, didn't they? RuneScape was, because there was a tiny game to fit onto some stuff. Resident Evil 2 blew your mind for Nintendo 64. You know what always blows my mind about Nintendo 64? The Nintendo 64 released after the PlayStation 1.
Oh, it did, didn't it?
Because you'd think, in like a timeline of games, it went from cartridges to CDs. You'd picture like that would happen. But actually, no, it went... PlayStation came out, CDs. N64 came out, hey, we're going with cartridges. PlayStation 2 came out, CDs won. But isn't it really weird? Because it blows my mind that they went with cartridges after CDs.
There is something in RuneScape that I might be slightly off, and Shogun can tell me if I am. And this is mainly with old school, back when it was, the current game. One of the tricks that they used was leap years ahead of other games. So, the wall kits, how everything's a tile, like a grid-based thing, and you've got each individual bit of the wall kits. Now, you need a variation for each different bit of wall. Let's say it's a cave wall, and you've got like a stalagmite hanging or going up, whichever one that is. And then the opposite, and then you've got a blank wall, and then you've got one that's got a crack in it. You'd have to make a variation for all of that. Now, the floor isn't perfectly flat. So for each one that's got a different connection to the floor, you'd also need another variation. But they were using procedural meshes for this. So what it would do is it would load this thing in, and it would say, okay, where would these bottom vertices need to go down to align to the floor? So instead of making a different variation for one going up a ramp, one on a flat, one going down a ramp, they procedurally generated all of that. And that's quite commonplace in some games now, but for the time, leap years ahead.
That's brilliant. One thing that I really dislike about procedural generation is that people seem to forget what it is good at and what it is bad at.
Yes.
Procedural generation is absolutely fantastic at making a massive amount of stuff with no emotional context to it. It's brilliant at making a lot of stuff. It's not good at making stuff that has any kind of context, any emotional connection, any story, anything that would invest you as a player into it. So I remember when I discovered this, I was playing a game called Soldier of Fortune on the PC. One of the older first-person shooter games, famous because you could actually shoot the enemy's limbs off. It was a really big thing that you could do. It was massive at the time. And there was a procedurally generated level. So I played it, and I started off in a corridor outside in the forest, and I walked down, and there's a big rock on my right, and then a guard tower in the distance, and I killed the guard, and I rescued the prisoner, and I run off. And I think, cool. Then I play another procedural level, and I start outside in a slightly different forest with a different rock, and the guard tower's on the other side in a different place. And I thought, I've seen it twice now. I know what I'm about to see thousands more times. Procedural generation is great at making a lot of stuff, but it doesn't necessarily mean that stuff makes any sense.
Yeah, a good use case of that is Spore, which I played recently. And if it's procedurally generating something that is tailored to what the person's doing, like creating a character, like you're putting arms on there. Now they're not going to model the arms to go in all these different locations on a body type that could be also procedurally generated. So, and this works the same way that RuneScape does those wall pieces. The arm is modeled, and then they procedurally modify it to fit in with the other things. So, like where it connects on the body. If it's connected, if you put the legs under them, well, you don't need like side attachments for these. They need to go up. So you procedurally rotate the vertices, connect them, and it works like that. Same for textures on Spore. That's a perfect use case because it's been procedural with context.
What they could do with procedural generation is create a city. You could give it how the buildings work and how the streets work. You can make a city. You could even put people there. But what you wouldn't be able to do is give those people personalities that relate and connect to each other within a story. Like if you walked up to a person, they might, the procedural generation might say, oh, the guy next door is my cousin. Okay, cool. So you go and talk to him and he go, oh, the guy next door is my cousin. All right, cool. What are we doing with that? What do you think about him? What do you feel about him? How do you think about this? How do you think about that? You need an artist, a story writer to get there. And people in the chat are saying it can't do that yet. The moment that you can just program a computer to procedurally generate an emotionally involving story, I would be quite sad at that, to be honest. Because I like the artist's input.
Yeah, the personality behind it. And we're actually getting close to that because with neural networks and procedural generation. Once those two are combined in a perfect way in game development, we're going to have relations that are formed between characters in a procedural way, where with a basic rule set you can have a wide story. But here's the problem: people won't then create their own neural network for their game. They'll use one from a previous game, and you start to feel this Groundhog Day effect, where every game you get in, there's this person whose daughter is a queen in a city far away, and so on and so forth. So it's like the same as reusing game assets from older games. Yeah. It's this mirrored story.
It's one of those, if you could play... This is almost like the game version of, if the Matrix were real, would you plug yourself in? If someone told you right now, hey, we can give you a virtual reality life, you will never know it's virtual reality, and you'll experience all the highs and all the low, all the pleasure, all the trials, all the tribulation, all the pain, would you do it? Knowing that in the moment, in the experience, you feel exactly the same. But the real you, who would never again be conscious, would know it was fake. Would you choose to do that? Would you play an artistic game made by a computer, provided it were an interesting experience to you?
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't like that, because it's a good example of why this wouldn't work out very well. Is, have you seen the very smart AI that they gave all the Harry Potter books to? They basically said,
give me
here's
one
the
second
entire...
to get the cat out of the room. Is this the comedy one? Because I've seen the comedy one.
It wasn't meant to be comedy. I just realised you can't even hear me.
I know that there was a comedy thing written, and that was actually a dude. He said, an AI writes a Batman script.
No, it's not that.
Not that guy, because that was hilarious.
They gave all context of the Harry Potter universe to an AI and said, this should be enough for it to write something meaningful that makes sense in the universe, right? Okay. As a kind of like tag-on book to the end of the series. And what they found is that it gets the context of individual things, but not the context between those things. Yeah. So you'd got paragraphs where it says, Hermione was walking around looking at the moaning chandeliers as they cowered in the corner. And it's like, okay, that by itself does make a sentence that's coherent.
And you can picture that in your mind as what that would look like if you were to create the film of that.
Exactly. Does it make any sense to anything else going on in the next paragraph? No, this was just thrown in there and forgot about.
Yeah.
And as funny as this was, it was hysterical to go through, by the way. You should watch that video.
I'll
it made no sense.
The Batman one was hilarious. The absolutely really funny Batman one. The dude frames it as an AI. I fed an AI 1,000 hours of Batman and asked it to write a script. It's actually him writing it. It's him writing it, using the AI thing as a joke. But it is very, very strange and very funny with that. So with the Matrix thing, because I'm guessing you've seen the first Matrix, Callum. Don't do this to me.
I have. It's been a long time.
Because you've not seen Die Hard.
I've not seen Die Hard.
Have you got another Christmas without seeing Die Hard?
I've rewatched all of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
You could have not watched any of the Hobbits and watched Die Hard 3 times.
I could have.
Which would have been a better use of your time.
It probably would have, but I didn't.
I mean, Lord of the Rings is fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. But the 3 Hobbit films, do we really need to watch them again?
I go into it with the mindset that it's nothing to do with the original trilogy, and I thoroughly enjoy it that way.
Or the book.
I do like them as a standalone trilogy. It's enjoyable to watch. It's got some really well put together scenes and, fight scenes. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, if you cut all of the bits that are in the book back into the film and leave it at that, it's really good.
I didn't read the books for The Hobbit, though.
Oh, the book's good. I've actually got the graphic novel, which is much more fun, to be honest, to read than the book.
Yeah.
Because there's pictures. But with the Matrix, the first Matrix, the idea is that Neo leaves the Matrix and he joins the humans in the real world in Zion, which is all terrible and shitty, and everyone's happy because they get to struggle. The theory is that Zion is actually just another layer of the Matrix, and in the real world, people are still plugged in, because in the great happy world where everyone's having a good time, no one realised that this was too good, this was too nice. So they rebelled. They want to face the actual problems. So they get taken out of the real world, put into Zion, it's all shit, and suddenly they're like, yeah, this is definitely real, because there's no way something this bad would be false. It's like people wanted to feel like they were fighting the system, so they got put into a shit existence where they could say, we're fighting the system. It's almost like if you say, you find someone who's a conspiracy theorist, and you pull them aside and you go, actually, you know what? Yeah, you are right, but don't tell anyone. And they start to think, oh my God, this is brilliant. So the real world in Zion with the squids hunting them is also a matrix, is also a dream world. It's just the dream world that you put people who can't accept that they're dreaming. Which would explain,
like that.
It would explain why Neo is able to stop the squids when they are attacking him, despite the fact he should have no psychic power whatsoever.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but this is a theory that I really like, because there's a lot of correlation and it's interesting. So the theory is that science is basically, the code of our world. I think we can all accept that. Things abide by the laws of physics and science. Once we've figured out science to a higher degree, we've basically got the source code of our world, right?
Yep.
Imagine that we can kind of escape that world and break down that barrier, that digital illusion.
Cal, do you remember those 10-minute film breakdowns?
Yeah.
There's a really shit film about that. I'm pretty sure it's... Oh, what's it called? It's the Berenstain Bears effect, or the Monopoly Guy effect, where he isn't wearing the monocle. What's that name of the effect where you remember something differently?
Effect.
The Mandela effect, that was it. There's a film called The Mandela Effect. Has anyone in the chat seen The Mandela Effect? Because it's named The Mandela Effect because everyone remembers Nelson Mandela's funeral, despite the fact that at the time Nelson Mandela wasn't dead.
Yeah.
It's one of those weird things where everyone's like, oh yes, I saw, Nelson Mandela's funeral on TV, and I remember watching it with the family, and I remember newspapers coming out about it and stuff. Yeah. And people were going, he's not dead. That never happened. And everyone was like...
My favourite Mandela effect as well is the mirror, mirror on the wall.
It's not who's
all of the merch. No, it's not that. So in the film, I always thought it was mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all, right?
Yep.
And all the merch says that.
Yep.
Literally every bit of merch. It's magic mirror on the wall.
Yeah. They don't say
mirror
mirror
twice. But there's no
twice.
history of that other than the film, which everyone insists was never magic mirror.
Yeah. Everyone thinks it's mirror, mirror on the wall. In fact, I'm pretty sure that mirror, mirror is the lyric used in one of...
songs for it as well.
Yeah, one of the songs for it as well. It's crazy. It's like how it's not Luke, it's not Luke, I am your father, it's no, I am your father, or something like that, isn't it?
And again, all of the merch has the one that we thought was correct.
Yeah, they don't say, Luke, I am your father. It's, no, I am your father.
Yeah. And Luke isn't even mentioned until like a minute prior and a minute after. So there's no way you could confuse that.
Yep. Everyone remembers the Monopoly man having a monocle.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
No.
And yet it's the thing. Everyone remembers it's the Berenstain Bears and the Berenstein Bears. It's an American thing. I don't think we got those books. We didn't get those books in the UK as much, did we? No.
No, we didn't.
But anyway, there's a film called The Mandela Effect. It's terrible. What it is it's the idea of multiverse theory, and how if someone notices that this is different to this, then you have actually hopped into a different universe where this is different to this. Anyway, the film ends with the dude going to the most powerful... I'm pretty sure that, there's Morgan Freeman's in it, for some reason. Maybe he needed the money.
I think I've probably watched this, the 10-minute recap.
The film ends with a dude going to the most powerful supercomputer in the world and literally using computer code to rewrite reality. So what he does first, I'm not even making this up in the film, in order to make sure he doesn't fuck up too badly, he does a quick Control-S of the current reality. And he saves all of existence on a little CD, so he can reboot the world if he needs to. Then he goes into this computer and starts making changes. And for the last, 15 minutes of the film, it's amazing. Because he walks outside, because he's trying to bring his wife back, because everyone has forgotten his wife even exists, and he remembers her existing. So he goes outside to try and find his wife, and someone walks past him, and their head is glitching. It's like lagging behind them, like a computer simulation for a bit.
Yes, I have seen this. Yeah. I have.
And then he looks over at the trees, and the trees are like pixelated, and then in the sky, it's got the no texture image. It's really cool. For like the last 15 minutes of the film, where everything's kind of fucking up graphical glitches. That's really, really, really cool. And then, then they reboot the world using the computer. He literally types code onto a keyboard, onto a screen, hits enter, and reality starts again.
I love this concept because there's so many parallels you can draw to programming. Like, for example, code execution. If you ever get to a switch statement in a lot of programming language, it will pre-compute both outcomes before you do it, so that you get the result instantly. And there's this converging timeline theory, isn't there, where Earth runs both outcomes ahead of time, and whatever happens, you shift onto that timeline, like train track switching. But where there's some sort of like glitch in the matrix, where sometimes people experience deja vu, which is the incorrect outcome, and then they experience the proper outcome.
There was one of my favorite animes of all time is Steins Gate. If anyone in the chat is a big fan, Steins Gate is fantastic. One of the few DVDs I've got behind me. But in Steins Gate, there's a character they talk about called John Titor, or John Titor, however you want to pronounce it. Now, John Titor isn't just something they made up for Steins Gate. John Titor was actually one of the original kind of internet trolls, if you will. John Titor, or someone under that username, was on message boards and forums back in kind of like 1996, 1997, explaining what CERN was going to do with everything. So they didn't just randomly make that up for Steins Gate. That was a dude who explained the whole kind of timeline theory and shifting from world lines from one to another and stuff like that. So he got he made a lot of predictions that were wrong and a lot of predictions that were right, kind of like Nostradamus.
Yes, I actually really like reading through his predictions, because when you look at the amount that he got right, and then you look at the ones he's made for the next few years, and you're like, I can see that happening.
Well, if you make enough predictions, eventually you're going to get something right.
Yeah.
Like if you predict the lottery hundreds of thousands of times, eventually you're going to predict it correctly. And everyone will remember the time you predicted it correctly, provided you get rid of all the times you got it wrong.
Yeah. Like financial advisors and crypto bros.
Yeah. Just everyone says, hey, remember, there's actually a scam. This is how the scam works. Let's say that I take 1,000 random email addresses, and we're talking about football games. So what I do is I send 500 people, hey, the football game that's going to happen tomorrow, this team's going to win. And I send 500 people, hey, the other team's going to win. Whichever team wins, I discard the losing 500 emails and I focus in on those.
Like a flow chart.
Yeah, like a flow chart. Then I send 215, 250, team A, team B, discard the loser. Eventually, I'll get it down to about 7 or 8 people that I've been right every single time with. And I send them an email saying, if you want me to tell you who's going to win the next game, send me £1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And someone will.
Yeah. There was actually a known issue with this, with certain betting sites, where if you were to hedge your bets like that, you could not lose.
Mm-hmm.
It was in the World Cup where we were playing Sweden in the final or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There were 3 betting sites in the UK where people made off with millions by putting £15,000 bets on each team all the way through, because the odds of a certain team were so high, because they didn't think they'd win, that people just made off with bank from it. And they had to reform the entire way that like bracket betting works.
Darren Brown has done this a lot.
Horse racing,
I went to go and see Darren Brown live a couple of years ago. Darren Brown is a brilliant entertainer, but a lot of people don't realise he's not. Let me tell you the secret to what Darren Brown's doing. Darren Brown is doing incredibly basic entertainment, telling you that it's psychology, and then making you feel smart. That's what Darren Brown does. For anyone who's not familiar with Darren Brown's work, he is a stage psychologist, an illusionist, a conjurer, whatever you want to call him, a magician. He's an entertainer. That's what he is. And he's an incredibly good entertainer. So I was watching an episode of Darren Brown. And he said to the camera, there were no actors, no stooges, no nothing used in this TV show. And I thought, wow. And now I'm older, I realise he's lying.
Yeah.
Because TV shows don't have to be honest to you. Imagine if a TV show started and the TV show said, this is a real gun, and then they shot an actor and the actor pretended to die, because that's how acting works, and they went, we have just broken the law, and then the rest of the thing carried on. You wouldn't be there thinking, wow, maybe they did actually shoot the dude, you know? But I mean, they didn't, because it's not Alec Baldwin. So what we're doing for instead...
Jesus Christ.
I
was resisting making
I know you were going to make the joke. I thought I'd just make it.
Yeah, so, if someone had to, it was in, floating around in chat.
So when Darren Brown says to you, there are no actors here, okay? There are. Everyone's an actor. So I was watching his thing, and he said, I am going to make this London cabbie forget where... the London Eye is, the big wheel. You know, the huge big wheel? I'm going to make it forget where that is. So he's in the cab, and Darren Brown is talking to the cab driver, and he keeps saying, you know, my son had a little toy car, and he lost the wheel on the car, and I couldn't find the wheel. And even though the wheel was so obvious, I couldn't see where the wheel had gone. And this taxi driver's driving around, looking out the windows, thinking, oh, I can't find it. And as a viewer, what you are thinking is, I know what he's done. He's used the word wheel and he's psychologically put the thing into the thing, and now he's done that. Darren Brown makes you feel smart because he makes you think you've worked out what he's doing psychologically.
Yeah.
All he's doing is just...
Paying an actor.
Paying an actor.
Yeah.
All he's doing. Straight away. He is literally just paying an actor to do that. Have you seen any more of his stuff? Like the dude that lands the plane?
I've seen a lot of it, but I don't think I've seen the plane landing one, no.
They are going to hypnotise a dude. They do it by... They get like a video game style thing, like a Time Crisis style cabinet, and they flash lights at him enough to hypnotise him and knock him out, and then they teach him how to land a plane, and then they put him on a plane, but it's just a huge simulator. And then they pretend that the plane is in trouble, and they do that. The zombie one as well. They use the flashing screens for the zombie dude. They put him there.
The bus and the meteors and weird stuff.
They have him shooting paintballs at actors who are walking out. I used to work for a paintball field. If you are firing a paintball gun at someone, that person needs to be wearing glasses, ideally a full face mask. Because if you get hit in the eye with a paintball, you're blind.
You're blind.
Straight away. You get hit in the mouth, you're going to lose a tooth, goes down your throat, you're going to have eating problems forever. So you want to wear a full face helmet when paintballing. I used to do paintballing all the time, and people would come up really cool and just put these glasses on. They're like, yeah, I don't need a full face mask. I'm just going to have glasses on. I'm like, mate, I work here. I'm putting a full face helmet on. I'm putting a riot gear on. I'm putting all the padding on. I went out looking like the Michelin Man. Okay? That's how much padding I wanted every day at that job. It was ridiculous. So with Darren Brown, what he does is he convinces you that you know what's happening. Remember that the casino one that he did?
Which one? He's done a few casino ones.
Oh god, he had this episode where he was going to... He managed to hack, apparently, a mobile phone camera that if you held it over a roulette wheel, he had software on the phone that would be able to compute the speed of the ball, compute the speed of the wheel, and tell you exactly where the ball was going to land. So what he did was he snuck into a casino with hidden cameras and then won on the roulette. He told a guy, hey, you give me like £10,000, I will, put a bet on for this and win you your money back. So he sneaks in, the camera's in the bag, you get this view of this, sneaking through a casino, red floor, people milling around, security and stuff shouldn't be there, very hush-hush.
It's like a shit Ocean's 11.
Yeah, pretty much. Can you imagine if the BBC actually endorsed undercover filming in a casino?
Yeah.
Like, you'd have lawsuits up the arse. It'd be ridiculous.
There's an interesting tangent to that, very quickly. Someone on YouTube did actually make that software to test out if it works, and it does.
Yeah. And,
it's pretty cool.
Well, when he did the episode, the ball landed one number off. Okay? Which is convenient because that's just the amount of mistakes you need to make to give yourself plausible deniability that actually it could have possibly maybe worked.
Yeah.
Remember when he predicted the lottery?
Yeah.
Oh God, there was an episode on TV where Darren Brown predicted the lottery, and what he did was he had the 6 kind of lottery balls lined up, and he would stand next to one, and when the live lottery revealed the ball, because in the UK there's like a machine that does it all for you, he would turn around the one, and it would be the same. And then he would step to the side, and the real lottery would reveal the ball again, and he would turn around the one that he got, and it would be the same. And people were like, oh my God, he actually did it. People were just explaining exactly how he did it, was likely just painting them on really quickly by green screening and chroma keying off the ball that was there. You just edit live to have someone sneak in and play the footage from before. The ball is there, you put the correct one on, you move the cross, camera freeze, switch it round. It's not difficult to do, but it made people feel smart.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate.
Yeah. And there was the one where... Did you ever watch the one where he got you stuck to your seat? Where you would sit in the chair. This, honestly, you read this. This was newsworthy in the UK, because I guarantee nothing else was happening on that day. Okay, not much happens in the UK. This was newsworthy. Darren Brown said, if you tune in to Channel 4 tonight, I will hypnotise you to not be able to get up from your sofa. And everyone sat down on their sofa watching, and he did a long intro, and he played some strange warped colours with a weird spinning symbol in the middle that had, strange noises. And then he said, you will now find it impossible to get up. And some people actually called in saying, I can't get up. I'm stuck. It's the power of deception. It's the power of belief. It's the power of deception. You were convincing yourself you wouldn't be able to do something because some magic man had told you. It's not... I can do stage hypnotism. They teach it you in uni. It's not difficult. Yeah. It's just constant repetition and minor motor movements. It's very, very, very easy. It's very... All actors. Somebody called Life Alert. all the actors. The problem is he was so good, some people are still stuck to their chairs. To this day, in the UK...
We'll never know because they can't get to their phones.
We know. We'll never know. We'll never know. Maybe we need to get Darren Brown to... Now he's doing adverts for Audible, isn't he? I keep getting Audible adverts.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to get Darren Brown to convince people to go and buy Cryptoland.
Maybe. Yeah,
He would do it.
People pay Matt Damon to advertise Crypto.com, so...
Do you think Matt Damon knew what he was doing an advert for?
Based off the disclosed amount that they paid him, he absolutely knew what he was doing an advert for.
How much did they pay him?
Close to $1 billion. Legitimately. It's insane. This is the thing, right?
With a B.
Crypto is making so much money that exchanges and holders like Crypto.com just chuck in 1.7 billion here to rebrand the Staples Arena, 1 billion to Matt Damon, because they can afford to do it.
They need to get rid of the cash, because if they're holding it, and if they've got $1 billion, if any of the assets they're holding reduce in value, they've not got $1 billion anymore. Maybe they know the assets they've got are so incredibly volatile, $1 billion today might be 10 million tomorrow. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
I mean, the story that I've heard is they offered Matt Damon a figure, I think it's 500 million. He was like, no, sorry, that's too little. And they just went, what about $1 billion? Like, they're literally throwing money at advertising. They bought out all advertising rights to UFC.
Oh.
If you watched any of the UFC,
they
all
own the
Crypto.com.
Staples Arena, don't they now? Awesome.
Yep, they own 10 years of advertising rights to the Staples Arena, and they've paid quadruple what Staples paid for 20 years.
Because I watched the Matt Damon advert for crypto. It reads like a really generic advert. It's one of those adverts where there's a corporate thing in advertising where you say words that don't actually mean anything. It's like, teamwork, perseverance, courage.
Fortune favours the brave.
Exactly. Let's do this. Let's go together. A new world, a new start. Let's be the change. And you just put all of these random corporate buzzwords together. It's one of those things where you've all seen training kind of videos at work, and you've all seen corporate value videos.
Yeah.
And they're all just bollocks. No one believes any of that stuff in them. I genuinely believe Matt Damon might have just done that as a thing. Like, he may have just made a shit video that can be used to advertise anything, and then crypto just went, yeah, we'll use that.
And that's the thing. They don't really care what he's saying. It's the fact it's Matt Damon.
Yeah.
And they basically own him at this point. He's there to do all their advertising and marketing. It's
Matt Damon is the actor.
Scary future.
Matt Damon is the actor that you call when you've got a character who we've lost but we need to get back. That's what it is. If you're writing a film where, like, so there's a character who's in trouble and we need to go and rescue them, get Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a character who their family are in trouble and we need you to rescue them. Go and get Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
There we go. The ultimate film would be Liam Neeson rescuing Matt Damon. I bet Crypto.com could make that happen.
Yeah, someone in my chat said, would you be able to say no to 1 billion? Honestly, if Crypto.com offered me $1 billion to advertise them, I mean, the side that I'm invested in them and, you know, that I actually believe in their stuff aside, I'd still do it.
If someone gave me $1 billion, I would sell an NFT of me telling you literally anything. Now, you give me £1 billion, I will buy a small island. That's what I'll do.
You can't, and this is one of those things where you can't even blame them for saying yes to it.
No,
because you yourself would not say no.
That is money for the rest of your lineage, not just, you know, your kids, your grandkids, your great grandkids, just everything, literally forever. That is, you are set up as Earth royalty. From that
Everyone has a price.
Yeah. Even a medium size, I could have a medium sized island. For that point, I'd just buy a bit of you could buy like a 2-bedroom flat in London for that much.
For a couple of months.
Yeah, for a few months.
Yeah.
I swear to God, the price of housing in London is just absolute. Why does anyone live in London?
I don't know. I've been looking recently. I think I told you guys before Christmas. I've been looking around at housing. And even in Stafford and around that area, it's bad. It's
further north you go in the UK, the cheaper it gets. You can buy. I looked into this. You can buy a castle in Scotland for about £1 million.
Yeah.
Okay, £1 million. You can get like a 5-story castle with a flag on the roof and everything, like an actual proper big stone-clad castle, dining hall, great hall, and everything. For £1 million, you get a 1-bedroom flat in central London.
Yep. Like when I was living in Sweden, my ex's mom, she's like head midwife over there, and she's loaded.
Yeah.
She'd got an apartment at the top of a block of apartments.
Yeah.
Got a balcony, you can go out on that, lovely, you know, glass infinity pool, whatever.
Yeah.
And that was £590,000 in pounds. And it was 1-bedroom open plan with the living room. Like, my living room downstairs was the size of it.
I mean, I've never lived in a block of flats, but I think the general kind of etiquette is you own everyone who lives under you. That's correct, isn't it? That's how it works.
Pretty much.
Like
I'm pretty sure the sewage just goes straight down into their water tanks as well. Just flush the toilet. They've got some water. For the next day.
It's a very dystopian. It's almost like what's that film with the train? Snowpiercer. It's like
I was going to say Human Centipede because I thought you were going a different route with this.
If you combine the general plot of the Human Centipede and the general plot of Snowpiercer, what you get is a set of council flats. That's how it works in the UK. I'm pretty sure if you live on like the 30th floor of a set of council flats, you are lord of everyone below you, and you can command them to do your bidding.
Yeah.
Again, I'm quite middle class, so I don't know. But
no, that's exactly how it works, Josh. If you've got an Amazon delivery at the door downstairs, you tell the guy on the floor below, he'll go and tell the guy on the floor below, and they'll eventually just ladder it up to you.
They do. They just
quite
throw
nice.
it. It's almost like a musical. You know how everyone just knows the steps and everyone helps each other and everyone knows the words of the song? If you live on the top of a flat and you get an Amazon delivery, when you look down the stairwell, there is someone on every floor just throwing your box.
It's like Oompa Loompas just chaining together.
That's what it is. That's all they ever do. Yeah. The person on the bottom floor is super fit.
Everything in the UK is a musical, yeah.
You know what I would love, as far as deliveries go? I would love if Hermes could learn to knock on my door and not just throw shit into my garden.
Yeah, you weren't home, so it's over in the third topiary bush down the road.
I was home. I was sat downstairs reading in the living room, and I just heard the sound of smashing glass in the garden, and I looked, and something that I'd ordered for someone else, they just lobbed over the fence and left a "sorry you weren't home" card at the door. I'm like, Hermes, knock on the door.
We had a Hermes delivery where my brother ordered a replacement phone because he broke it, so he got a cheap one from like Argos or whatever. Hermes brought it, and we were sat in the front window, and we watched him go through our back gate and dump it in the brown bin.
Yeah.
And we watched him fill out this thing. We were just staring eye to eye with him as he filled out a card saying, "We've put it in a safe place on bin day."
Yeah. It's ridiculous because in the UK they'll knock on your door, and if you don't answer it in like 0.4 milliseconds, they'll start filling in a little code that says
before the hand removes from the door.
Sorry, we missed you. We've put the parcel in a safe place, and then they leave it there like a riddle. And you come out and you get it, and you look at it, and you turn the card over, and you'd think that they write something like "it's behind the brown bin," but what they've actually done is drawn a treasure map. With step 1, step 2, there's a
UV
code.
light out. Look at the invisible ink.
Yeah, there's a code down the side, a cipher along the bottom, and when you get it, you don't find your parcel because the real, it was friendship. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what we really.
It's the delivery guy just sat there waiting for you. He's like, the real parcel was the adventure, but also here's your parcel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so whenever I deliver anything to anyone and I say it's going to be going by Hermes, I always get a little bit sad.
Yeah. I always love looking at the photos they take because, now with expensive things, like my GPU, this was the best example. When I ordered my GPU, I get an email. "We've delivered your GPU." I'm sat in the front living room because my PC won't turn on. I've got nothing to do.
Yeah, you're not staring at the computer.
I'm sat there and I'm like, "No, you haven't."
Yeah.
So I go to next door. I'm like, "Have they dropped off a parcel here?" And they're like,
yeah.
"No, but I saw him drive past." I'm like, "Right, okay, next, what can we do now?"
Yep.
So I go back onto the email. They've left a photo of it. Normally it's me holding some parcel looking really surprised in a dressing gown.
Yeah.
But no, this time it was a picture of the guy's foot at the bottom of my driveway on a drain that I had to decipher if it was the one in front of my house or not. And it's like, "We left it in your porch." And I'm like, "You absolutely haven't. I don't have a porch."
I try and get in all the photos because they always, whenever you get a delivery in the UK, you open your door, they say, "Hey, we're going to put this box on the doorstep and we've got to take a picture of the box kind of like being half in the door so we can prove to our bosses that we delivered it." So I just crouch down and
yeah.
They don't appreciate it at all.
No.
They don't find it anywhere near as funny as I find it, but it's my package and I'm going to keep doing it. Okay?
Yeah, and so to wrap that story up, they had taken a picture of the delivery man's foot at the bottom of my driveway. I deciphered that from the drain and the curb curvature, right? I knew it was there.
This is the adventure, Cal. You're going on it now.
They dropped it off 3 streets away. Someone had to come from 3 streets away the next morning to give me my parcel that they had taken a photo of outside of my house. And it's at this point where I'm just like, how? How do you do that?
Isn't it weird that when you're a kid, you assume that every adult in a position of responsibility or a job with any kind of responsibility is competent? You're young, you're naive, you don't know how the world works. You see someone that has a job and you just assume that
They've
person...
got their shit together.
Yeah, they've been trained for that job, they've done that job for a while, they know everything about that job, they know what to do. When you're a kid, you think an adult knows what they're doing, and then you become an adult and you realise no one actually knows what they're doing, everyone's just kind of winging it as best they can.
Yep, there's nothing to prepare you for adult life.
No.
The first workplace you go into, and you get all these rules and regulations, and this is the itinerary of the list of how you should do things, and you jump into your first training day with whoever you're with, and they're just like, "Yeah, don't worry about that. It doesn't work, so we just do it this way instead." And it's always we're not supposed to do it this way, but that's my favourite.
Yeah.
You will hear that forever.
And then within any workplace, and this annoys me to no end, any workplace that tells you you have to follow procedure, and then someone who's been there for a long time comes up and goes, "Oh, by the way, if you follow procedure, it'll take you twice as long. What you need to do is this instead." And the amount of work they expect you to do requires you to do it in the quick way. But if you do it in the quick way and you make a mistake, they say you weren't following procedure, you're in the wrong. But if you follow procedure, you can't do it as fast as they want it done, and they come along to you and say, "You're not going quick enough, you're in the wrong." I'm like, what do you want me to do? I used to work in a warehouse. And
Catch-22?
Yeah, it is a catch-22. You want me to follow the rules and regulations you've written, which don't allow me to perform the job as fast as you say it should be performed. Yep. So we cut corners, and then when a mistake goes wrong, you throw me under the bus for cutting corners.
You absolutely can't win in corporate environments. They are set up for you to be blamed regardless of how you do it.
Yeah, it really sucks. I think my kind of awakening moment to the absolute lack of competence, the incompetence of the adult world, was when I was watching the news as a kid. I think I must have been about 12 at the time, and there was a news story about how MI5 in the UK, Military Intelligence 5th Division, had lost a load of secrets. MI5 had been hacked.
Oh, I know where this is going.
I watched it and I'm like, how? Did someone hack in? Did someone abseil down from the roof like in Mission Impossible? How on earth?
For a vent or something.
Yeah, how did MI5 get hacked? Okay? The dude left a file on a train. Like
a physical file.
A physical file of papers. He had it with him. He was kept taking a train. He put it down. He got to his stop. He got off the train. The train left and he went, fuck. There's a file full of MI5 papers on that train. I sure hope nobody finds that.
And the best part is what it was about.
Yeah, Johnny English was a documentary after that. It was just absolutely ridiculous. Wasn't it about nuclear weapons or something?
No, it was about the building of homemade weapons for terrorist attacks in the UK, which was leading up to the London bombings, I think.
Okay.
And what they'd done is it was them trying to break up this ring of purchases of materials that were suspicious. And the files and the contents ended up in the hands of the terrorists that now knew how to avoid being seen based off of that document. They just straight up handed the get out of jail free card to the terrorists.
Yeah, that they'd made a comprehensive list of what they could and couldn't trace, and then you'd given it to the people who would really benefit
know what you can't trace
from having that. It's dumb. And that's when I started to think, even as like a young teenager, I started to think that probably shouldn't have happened.
No.
They probably train you, don't leave files on trains, and then walk off. And that's when I realised that everyone got demoted to MI4. He was trying to work his way through the ranks. You can join MI5. This is a website. You apply. I looked into applying years ago. I mean, I'm not going to apply, so I think I can tell you this now. But that they apply. You can look to be a mobile surveillance agent, which is just like a spy, pretty much. Spying in modern day terms is not exactly James Bond. Mostly, it's working in a foreign embassy, and
social engineering.
Everyone knows you're a spy. Everyone knows you're only there to try and get information that your government doesn't have, that some other government does, and everyone just tries to stop you doing it. It's almost like it's like a childish game. Like everyone working in the industry is looking at the person that's just joined. They're like, "Oh, you've just joined the Iranian embassy. What's your name?" "My name is John Smith from the UK." "Oh, we'll keep you away from the big file of things the English don't know, and we'll put you over there. You can man the water cooler." And all it is then is just John Smith waiting for someone to not be near the file, to just run over, take some pictures on his phone and send them all back. Be like, "Ha, got you."
Yeah, John's just crawling around on the floor. "Is there any terrorist activity taking place around here?" And it's just like...
Yeah, it's not exactly the high stakes, thrilling stuff that they had before. It's very, very, very kind of chilled out social engineering. But you know what I think we should do as far as spying goes?
What?
Hello, fellow spies. Do you remember when you were like a teenager and you're like, "Hey, I'm in this guild in this game. I'm going to go and spy on the other guild by making a new character and getting my character invited to that guild." And you can spy on them as if we were gathering any relevant information.
Yeah. This is actually, you've just made me think of us doing research on scams in Discords.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly that.
That's where I was going with it.
Yeah, all it is I find out about Cryptoland and Dream World and all that. I get ban. Cool. All of my mods on their 1 million army strong alt accounts have all now gone in there. They're not going to ban us all.
No. Spying is... When you were a kid, you said it like it was the most important thing ever. "Oh, I'm friends with, A and B, but we don't quite like C and D, and they hate E and F, so I'm going to go and hang out with E and F, and I'm going to spy on their conversations about these guys," as if it's the most important thing in the world ever. Yeah. As far as social engineering goes, you start young and you learn to work out who's talking about stuff. Every group on Eve, every single company on Eve will accuse you of being a spy for someone else, because it is just spy versus spy, which was a good game. It was everyone accusing everyone else of having no real allegiance to anything. But spying, when someone says, oh, Cal is spying on the crypto Discord, it's not like he's hacked into the server and is just
the
sat
main
there.
frame.
Yeah, he's not reading Matrix-style messages as they cascade down the stream. He's sat in his room on Discord that he can publicly join.
I mean, I've got 3 Discord accounts open on this one PC. If you ban one of them, guess what? I jump in on one that I don't talk on.
Yeah.
That nobody knows is me. Not even my mods know that it's me.
Just pretend to be someone else. It's not complicated. It's really not complicated. So let's wrap up.
Yeah.
Cryptoland, Cal. You got any final thoughts? Because I think this is going to be the thing that we see implode over the next 6 months. And I think, unfortunately, it's going to be that old saying, this is how the world dies, not with a bang, but with a whimper. Because I would love to watch it happen and fail in real time.
But with a pending transaction.
Yeah, but I think what's going to happen is just it's going to very slowly just peter out and everyone's going to forget and then another scam will come along.
That's absolutely what will happen. It'll be, troughs and peaks with this, and they'll eventually get bigger until they don't.
Someone's just put in chat, I can't believe Mulak was Callum the entire time. It's just your name backwards.
I literally did that, by the way. That's not a joke. I had a Discord account called Mulak, and I joined the Dreamworld Discord, and I was like, I'm doing this to be like deadpan obvious that it's me. Nobody fucking realised. And it was a picture of me.
Name.
It was the picture of me off my YouTube banner where I'm just throwing a peace sign looking baked. And nobody realised.
That's like me joining a game as just called not Josh Strife Hayes. And people are like, I don't know who you are.
Pretty much.
Brilliant. What fantastic master of deception right there.
While we're wrapping up, I actually wanted to tell you a kind of wholesome story that's happened to me this week. And
Give me a wholesome story, Cal.
It's because I think it's good to end on a wholesome story. I have made an elderly friend in the last week.
Okay.
I was driving home and I saw this guy walking along, hobbling along down the road.
Yeah.
As I got down to the end of the road, I was looking in the mirrors because I was just like, I think he's absolutely pissed, right?
Okay.
And I just watched him fall over crossing the road and he just lay there. And this was like 7 p.m., which, in the UK right now is dark as hell.
Oh, yeah. It's
really dark. So I was like, okay, I'll turn around and I'll go see if he's okay. Because he's in black coat, black hat. He just looks like a lump in the road.
Gotcha.
So I went over to him. I was like, "Are you okay?" And it was this elderly dude called Clive, and he just had like a knee replacement and everything. He was a super nice guy, and he'd fallen over and he just couldn't get up.
Okay.
So I picked him up and I was like, where do you live? And he was just telling me about grandkids and whatever. And he'd only lived around the corner, but it was -2. Like I was freezing my tits off getting out the car.
Freaking cold outside.
I was like, you know what, I'll drop you off because it's on the way back. And so he asked me for my phone number when I dropped him off. So I left it on a piece of paper. And today, while I was out just on a drive, he called me with his, I think it was his daughter, he said.
Yeah.
Just chatting to me. So went round for a cup of tea and I've got a nice old friend now.
Brilliant. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Isn't it
just
weird?
One of those unexpected things.
As a kid, you just walk up to someone and say, "Do you want to be friends?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then you go and play Legos together or whatever. You can't really do that as an adult, can you?
No.
One of the weirdest things I ever found, and I think everyone in the chat will be able to understand this, making friends as an adult is really hard. Because every method that you learn as a kid is the exact thing that you can't do as an adult. Like, if you're a kid, you're on the playground, you're playing and you're climbing up the kind of jungle gym or whatever, you've got the slide, you've got the swings, you just chat to random kids around you. Yeah. And your parents will be chatting to their parents, your guardians are chatting to their guardians, and you kind of form connections like that. As an adult, the equivalent to like a playground would be going paintballing or going airsofting or something like that. You go on your own, you walk up to a group of 3 or 4 lads and you're like, "Hey, do you guys want to be friends?"
Yeah,
and they just look at you like, "Go away, strange man." No, we don't. How are you meant to do that? Gives Josh Lego toy. Do you want to be friends? I was tidying up my room a few days ago, and I found my Ninjago, which
man.
I 100% need to rebuild, because I'm not even lying. Ninjago are just these are cool things, all right?
They are.
Okay, check this out, right? This is a little Lego thing, and when you spin that wheel, the thing on top spins. So what you do is you put the dude on the top, and then you kind of put that on the floor, and as you move the wheel along,
and it kind of hides mechanics.
The dude spins around on it. So you put two of these next to each other, and you kind of spin them at each other, and they try and Ninjago each other off the other one, which I think is really cool. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, but no, making friends as an adult is really difficult. Like it's just Beyblade, Lego cross with Beyblade. Making friends as an adult is a really strange thing to do. How on earth do you do it? I think MMORPGs have really helped with that.
Yeah, it's kind of like we've got this mindset that you need a common interest to start to talk to someone about, but it's catch-22 because you don't know their common interests until you speak to them.
Yeah.
So you're either this weirdo that sat on a booth near someone else in Weatherspoons, and you hear them mention something you're interested in, and you just kind of like creep into their booth.
Yeah. when they look up, you just sat there next to them with a full fish and chip dinner and you've already ordered. You carry on.
Yeah, it's just like continue. Yeah. I'm listening.
Yeah.
Or you don't. And it's a kind of weird... This is why I love the internet, because it kind of breaks down those social boundaries that we believe are now in place.
You know, one of the biggest problems of making friends as a geek is if you're into Magic the Gathering and you want to make, Magic the Gathering friends, the biggest problem is you've got to hang out with the type of people who play Magic the Gathering. And that's not going to go well. Like, I love Warhammer 40k. If I want to make some Warhammer 40k friends, I've got to go down to Games Workshop. Unfortunately, that means I'm then going to meet the kind of people that go to Games Workshop. Now, yes, I am, of course, one of those people, but I like to think that you can be in the minority of the geeks because you're still kind of socially aware. You've showered, you've dressed, you're being pleasant. You walk into a Magic the Gathering tournament, you walk into a Pokemon tournament, you walk into a Games Workshop, you're thinking, it smells like the shop is sweating.
That's
what it smells like.
It's really
terrible. It smells like the carpet has been outside all summer, and you've just brought it in. That's what it smells like.
There's a sewage leak somewhere in there, but there just hasn't.
Ironically, there actually was at Games Workshop headquarters. They had to throw away tens of thousands of pounds worth of stock.
No, that was just an excuse for how bad the smell was, because everyone had just come out of isolation, hadn't they?
Well, someone said, legitimately, because when we went to the Warhammer World, they've got massive industrial temporary piping all the way down the whole industrial estate. And someone said, Games Workshop have unfortunately suffered a sewage leak. It's not necessarily them, it's just like the industrial complex in general. And they've had to throw away about £10,000 worth of stock. And I thought, wow, that's like 4 or 5 boxes.
Models.
Yeah, they've thrown away like an...
That's 2 tanks.
That's 2 tanks and a Space Marine captain. They're not going to recover from this. It's terrible. No, it's a lot of stuff like that. But making friends as an adult, really, really difficult. The best way to do it, honestly, is like YouTube comments sections or Twitter. And you find people that hate the things that you hate. That's the way you do it as a kid.
Yeah.
As a kid, it's, do you like what I like? As an adult, it's do you not like what I don't like?
Yeah, that's actually so true.
It's the way to do it. I mean, I'll comment, NFTs are fucking dumb. And I'll get a lot of people going, yeah, preach. And I'm like, we're friends now.
We're friends now. We are one and the same.
That's how it works. Yes. Hate is a bad connecting theme. You connect over hate, and then you work out what you mutually enjoy.
Yeah, because normally if you hate the same things, there's a good chance you'll like the same things too.
Yeah. Or you just become anger friends.
Pretty telling. Yeah.
Anger friends. You got your drinking buddies, people you enjoy drinking with, people you enjoy being angry with, and people you enjoy being happy with. You've got to have that, but it's very difficult to... So I think one of the reasons, and this kind of cycles us back around nicely, we're talking in the chat right now about how difficult it is to make friends as an adult. One of the best ways to do it is a community. That's why people say, go to a book club. Go to the local library. Go and take a dance class. Go and take a cooking class. Adults do these things not because they want to learn how to cook or how to dance, but because they're just freaking lonely. And you want to connect with anyone, and it just so happens that you're free on a Thursday night, so you go down and do a salsa dancing class. You've not got much interest in salsa, but you kind of want to just go and chat to people.
This is something that I've noticed why a lot of people can't make friends. People are very afraid of going places by themselves.
Yeah.
Like, start going places, even if you're by yourself.
Yeah.
It forces you to make friends. Like,
Exactly.
Normally you'd grab a friend, you go hang out in Starbucks or whatever, grab a coffee.
Yeah.
Go do it by yourself if your friend's not there. You'll make more friends.
The cinema is the perfect date with yourself. It's literally sitting in a dark room, talking to no one, watching a film. That's a great thing to do by yourself. People are always like, oh, it's so sad to go to the cinema by yourself.
No,
I'm like, no, it's not. It's 2 hours of not talking to anyone.
I've not got my friend crunching in my ear through the whole thing. It's great. I love it.
If my friends
I'm living my best life.
I want to be interacting with my friends if they're there. If you go to the cinema, I'm not going to talk to them. I will go and watch a film. They can watch a film. Then afterwards, we can talk about the film, maybe. But so we talk about human beings are extremely lonely. Do you think lonely? I mean, we said we were going to wrap up, and now we've gone onto some kind of tangent. I've got time. If you've got time, Cal, you've
I've got time.
Brilliant. This is the tangent. You thought we were finished. Oh no!
This isn't even our final form.
You thought we were done. The health bar dropped and the second health bar's popped up. All right? This is Dark Souls 3, Idux Gundyr. You get him down to half health, massive huge claw, difficult fight.
But wait, there's more.
It is. Do you think that people have got lonelier over the pandemic?
I think it depends. I know a lot of people that weren't very into, internet communications and all that. And they've been forced into it over lockdown. And they've made a hell of a lot of friends from starting playing games that they're now meeting up with in real life. I think for us that already do that, we've definitely gotten lonelier because we already had that there. That's not a new comfort.
Yeah.
We've now just lost interaction with the people that we could go and see.
It's a thread on Reddit, and people said, what has the pandemic shown you? What surprised you about the pandemic? And I think the number one answer was just how close to the edge everyone already was.
Yeah.
Because it only took, say only takes a year. A year is a long time for a lot of people, but the fact that it took a year before, over a couple of months, before people's mental health just started absolutely plummeting.
Yeah.
Was really shocking.
Yeah, the
really,
graphs,
really shocking.
The graphs are really telling of what happened. Like suicide rates went up in correlation with lockdown times and all that. I think it's affected people mentally more than it has, physically. Like there was a point in time in the UK, and you'll probably remember this, where suicide rates were outweighing COVID deaths per day.
It's crazy. I tend to think of it as almost like, at Christmas you can get those your chocolate Santas covered in foil. I tend to think of it as some people who are close to, intense loneliness. They're like that without the chocolate Santas, just the foil. And as long as the routine keeps going, as long as you wake up, you have your breakfast, you go to work, you come home, you watch TV, you go to bed. As long as that keeps happening repeatedly, you're kind of in a stable enough position to stay. You're kept there by the routine.
Yeah.
As soon as the routine stops and you're told actually you need to reflect, because I think what this pandemic has brought is a lot of reflection, self-reflection. A lot of people have been forced to sit and do nothing. And when you're forced to sit and do nothing, the only thing to really think about is you.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people have done self-reflection before. This is what therapy is about for a lot of people. It's about understanding yourself, understanding how to think.
Breaking you down and then building you back up in the right way.
Exactly. And when people are asked or tasked with thinking about their own lives, thinking about themselves, free from the influence of, a social group or a friend group or even a career, a lot of people don't even know what to think about.
Yeah. They don't even know what sort of person they are, who they are.
Yeah.
And I think that hits a lot of people harder because they then don't have the therapist to help build them back up after. Like, breaking yourself down is really easy. Building yourself up after in a more constructive way is not quite that easy.
Yeah. People often say, going to therapy is weak. Going to therapy it's bad. The way I see it is, you want to improve your physical health? You can research a hell of a lot of stuff, but if you go to a personal trainer, they'll be able to talk to you about diet, exercise regimes, what you should be doing. If you want to improve your mental health, you can research a lot of stuff, or you can go to a therapist who will do that, the physical training aspect, just for your mind. It's the same as you go to a gym for your body, you go to a therapist for your mind if you want to, which is a great thing to do.
Absolutely.
But no, I think that what the pandemic has shown a lot of people is, well, first of all, hobbies and things that you can do by yourself absolutely took off. Games Workshop and Warhammer made record profits. RuneScape made so much money. MMORPGs completely took off. But now we have, unfortunately, seen that a lot of people survive by consuming content rather than creating it.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely true. I know that some people in my family never used to watch YouTube, but since the pandemic, they've become full-time viewers of, you know, some people's channels, not even particularly mine or yours, but they've found something they're interested in, and it's almost like you're having a conversation. You know, streaming. The viewership of streaming over COVID has rocketed because you've got a friend, even if they're not specifically talking to you.
Yeah. Because I think all these things matter to everyone that's hanging out now and chatting about it, and we can read the messages, but I do miss the face-to-face interaction. And I think this is what Insomnia, hopefully, is going to be able to bring back, I mean, for me at least, because my entire forte, my entire career was built around the idea of having that face-to-face interaction with someone. That's why I prefer theatre over film and TV. Some people are really good. Josh isn't talking to me specifically. It's okay, Emily, I am. If Josh reads this, we are friends. Got you. But, so a lot of people are good with systems, and they're good with numbers, and they're good with facts, and they're good with figures. And they can do that by looking at a screen and working out all the paperwork. I'm good with people, face to face. Even if I have no numbers, no paperwork, no facts, no figures, I'll work out the person. I'll work out what I want to talk to the person about. And when you take that away, I feel like I just lost a huge element that was important to me.
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, in relation to what I just said, like when I was speaking to Clive, I was like, "Do you live with family and friends?" And that, and he was just like, "Oh no, since COVID, I haven't seen anyone." And it's just kind of sad that to realize that once your entire communication is taken away, because he's not got internet, he doesn't know about all that. It's just face to face, and he's just sat there living in his house, and for the last 2 years now, pretty much, he can't see anyone.
No. Which is
and I think that's the same whether it be physical or digital for a lot of people. Yeah.
Seeing people is hugely important. The value of a hug, people have no idea. The value of a hug, man, the value of a handshake, the value of a high five, the value of a shared laugh while you're having lunch together or a meal together. The effect is, you ever watched a Netflix comedy special by yourself and it's funny but you don't laugh?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Laughter in a group setting is almost a social cue that what you have experienced, not only did you find funny, you need to let other people know that you find it funny.
Yeah.
That's why if you and a couple of friends watch a comedian or a comedy special or a funny film, you're all laughing at it because you need to let them know that you find it funny, and they are letting you know that they find it funny by doing that. But
it's a bonding experience.
It is. But imagine you watch the same film by yourself, just as funny, but you maybe exhale air out your nose a little bit more than you don't properly belly laugh with it, do you?
Yeah, I think laughter like that usually comes from other people's perceptions of it. Like, think of any time that you and a group of friends have found something hysterically funny, and then think about what you actually found funny. It's not that funny. It's just like the group energy that's made it funny.
Someone in the chat just put the Goes Wrong show. So funny, I had to tell everyone and everyone. If you haven't seen the Goes Wrong show, it is the funniest thing I've ever seen. I bought the DVDs. Okay, they were on sale for like a month on the BBC website. I've got the Goes Wrong show, season 1, season 2. I've got Peter Pan Goes Wrong. We've got Christmas Carol Goes Wrong. They did a Children Need Special one. Cal, when you come round, mate, we're watching the Goes Wrong show. It's a company called Mischief Theatre Company, and they wrote a play called The Play That Goes Wrong. And it won so many awards in London. It did so well. And then they went on to make BBC shows. Oh, mate, the Goes Wrong show, if you can even Google clips of it, just absolutely goddamn hilarious. I loved it so much. But I think for now, it is in fact 9 o'clock over here, which means it's pitch black, and it's definitely past my bedtime. Cal, you got any final thoughts on crypto, on the pandemic, on anything that's happened over the last year, or that you think is going to happen over the next year, especially with NFTs and crypto and stuff.
Yeah, my parting words would be, don't be afraid to go somewhere alone. Fuck NFTs. Long live Clive. And that's about all I've got.
Yeah, pretty much. Me and Cal have still not finished our NFT collection. And that's to sell you, and I think that's because we don't want to. But one day, when we fully sell out, we'll sell you something. I might just start doing manual offline NFTs. I might just have a board behind me that I sell people's spaces on. Manual offline NFT. And when I get bored, I'll just wipe it off. And when people are like, my name was on there, I'm like, pretty sure it wasn't.
I'm actually doing exactly that. I'm for a video to show how easily these ugly things are generated. I'm going to do it in Python, generating Orkle, the mascot, as different NFTs. And people can just get them for free with channel points on Twitch.
It's dumb.
Just for a fun collectible.
Yeah, it really, really, really is dumb. So, guys, please spend your money on what makes you happy. But don't spend your money on the idea of a dream that someone else is selling you. Spend your money on... It's your money. Spend it wisely. Spend it on what makes you happy. Subscribe to Callum. That's what you should go and do.
That'll make you all happy, I promise.
He would make you happy. Right. Anyway, ladies and gents, thank you very much for joining us for today. It's been great, and I look forward to... chatting again next week. Cal, what kind of videos you got coming out this week?
I've got a deeper dive on the Cryptoland nonsense, mostly going over a lot of what we spoke about tonight. The mumble rapper Tekashi69 has started an NFT rug pull scam. That's going to be covered as well. No,
the human skittle has lied to us.
Yeah, the head racketeer has done more illegal stuff immediately after coming out of jail.
Oh no.
There's a Ozzy Osbourne backed NFT project that isn't backed by Ozzy Osbourne, so we'll be covering that too. Along with the Me6 incident.
Oh god, the Me6 thing with the Discord. We've purged the Me6 from the Discord channel. I replaced it with Carl.
We never had it, which is good.
You know what made me sad? Tom Morello is selling NFTs. And for anyone who's unaware, Tom Morello, I believe, was the guitarist from Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what the machine is anymore that they're meant to be raging against. But Tom Morello, go onto his Twitter. He's selling you NFTs of his Dungeons and Dragons characters.
What?
Yep, he's got do it. Tom Morello on Twitter.
Tom Morello Twitter.
And he's really into it. He's really into the idea. It's going to be amazing. So basically, that was brilliant. So I saw a tweet from, I forget who it was, someone with 1 million Twitter followers who's also amazingly a complete idiot. And they said, imagine NFTs. Imagine you buy a skin in Fortnite, but then you're able to use it in Counter-Strike. That's the future of gaming. And a guy on Twitter called Grums, who was the original lead developer of World of Warcraft, just replied saying, no, it isn't. Like, Grums knows what he's talking about when it comes to making online games. The dude made WoW.
And he's the guy that you can thank for Classic WoW ever existing because of his petition that he put out.
Yeah. Yeah, he basically just went, no, this is not how this works. Every game has a different architecture. I explained it. It's like trying to put an Xbox disc in a PlayStation 4. Just because you own it
absolutely is.
Doesn't mean that it works on everything. We're not going to get into this tonight because there's way too much. But seriously, Tom Morello, Rage Against the Machine, is now selling you NFTs.
I'm looking at it and I'm horrified.
His rage is proportional to how much money, is inversely proportional to how much money he has. So the more wealthy he is, the less it appeals to him raging against when he realizes he is now part of he's become the machine.
We're now raging against him.
Yes, he has become the machine, which I think is a rage against some of the machine. Rage against bits of the machine that we rage against. It's like Bernie Sanders used to have this thing. I'm not going to get political with this, but the American presidential, when it was Bernie Sanders, he said this thing every single time he would come up and he'd say, we're going after the millionaires and the billionaires. That was his catchphrase. Every single rally. We're going after the millionaires and the billionaires. Until he became a millionaire, and his slogan just changed to, we're going after the billionaires.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I remember that.
Convenient that you no longer want to attack the people that you are now part of, but okay. Anyway, ladies and gents, thank you very much for joining us tonight. It has been great. Please don't buy Tom Morello's NFTs. Please spend your money on whatever the hell you want to that isn't something dumb. Thanks for joining us. Take care. Have a good night, and God bless.
Yeah, thank you to all the guys on my end as well for the support, and I will see you tomorrow on a video and stream.